Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
2026 Drake May definitely would have won that game for them yesterday.
Drop the ball 5-6 times. Does that make you the better team?
Yeah.
So when you drop the ball, it makes you better?
Yeah, guys just told you how open these guys were. You were lucky
No, I
to
know,
only
but
give
if
up
you drop the
23.
ball, you drop the ball. That's a lack of execution.
You did what you wanted to do more than they did what they wanted to do.
I think they wanted to catch the ball.
Did you ever see anybody so maddening as this?
This is not a shot. Like, it's just a different way of watching the game. Like, you're great at seeing the game. I'm great at seeing, like, leaks. Just
What about a drive starter?
how are you going to run duo with an 180-pound receiver trying to dig out the nickel? Like, good luck. I'm just being honest. Like, I didn't mean to
A lot
go
of people
like,
out there,
oh,
something moved. Oh, Evan. Hat on a hat, right?
I mean,
Iron sharpens iron.
Hat on a hat. I'm better than you.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium, but it's kind of like a Saturday here at Gillette Stadium.
So we shouldn't be here.
In that the team is about to leave the stadium to get to New Jersey to play the New Jersey Jets on Thursday night. So excited about that. Evan and I will be leaving the show a little bit early today, so we have a little bit of a altered schedule. We'll be doing our picks about 12:40 in the show, and we'll do the picks. Evan and I will leave, and then Alex, and Deuce, Paul will carry the show to the end.
That's right.
Yeah.
Triumphantly.
Yeah. So it is Evan, it's Paul, it's me, it's Deuce, it's Alex, it's Matt in the booth, and we're here, or they're here until 2 o'clock, talking Patriots, getting ready for this Thursday night clash on Prime Video. What are we thinking?
I love
A
that
lot
it's on Prime
I
Video.
think the main story is injuries, right? Right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just wrote about it actually. Did a thing on Kaden Wallace playing left tackle. Vidarian Lowe was not at practice. We saw him in the locker room last night when we went in about 7:15 last
Yeah.
night.
Bizarre.
And then Raekwon McMillan, the other guy, probably going to fill in a little bit for Juwan Bentley. Dug up something I had written about him in the summer. I mean, he had I think the first preseason game he was kind of flying around a little bit, and then after that people were talking to him, and the summer he talked about just how hard it was those 2 years that he completely lost to injury. So he knows what Bentley's going through. They've become really close. It sounds like they've gone on trips together to Costa Rica. So it sounds like those two guys really have developed a bond, and now it might be a little more Raekwon McMillan filling in for him.
Yeah. And
Sorry
then,
for my voice.
Patriots aren't the only team dealing with injuries. The Jets also have
Yeah.
some, pretty key injuries going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Thursday night games, guys aren't available.
Yeah.
I don't know who would have figured that out.
Oh.
But I think it's an issue for both sides. The Patriots' offensive line, I think, not just Vidarian Lowe. Those guys are banged
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
We've seen all of them on the injury report. It was a good sign to see David Andrews sort of upgraded a little bit to limited yesterday, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, he said he was okay.
And so I'm sure he's fine. He's going to play, but it's tough for these guys to bounce back. And obviously, you mentioned the Jets guys too. Jermaine Johnson's out, so that's going to probably put Will McDonald into a bigger role for them on the edge. He's a first-round pick from last year who's played a little bit better, I think, in year two, but was kind of disappointing as a rookie. And C.J. Mosley is the guy that I think that's the Bentley for the Jets. And, the Patriots want to run the ball. C.J. Mosley's the guy they probably need in the lineup. He hasn't done anything at practice this week. We'll see later today.
So he hasn't participated, or is
No.
he
No.
limited?
DNPs.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think McDonald's really light too, so
That's
forcing him to play early
yeah.
downs is going to be an advantage, I think, for the Patriots.
Yeah,
but-
run right at them.
So
Yeah.
more of the same. Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
but
just-
right at them. Don't try to run into the alley. Run it right at them.
Yeah.
You don't want to
You're
try
not looking
to.
for a seal here?
No, I'm not looking for
And a seal
anything.
here?
Like, this is not a team
dig
that you
out
want to
anything.
go east-west against. They got east-west guys. You want to go right up the field. So, especially without those two guys, I am expecting them to run the ball right
So
at
more
them.
gap in duo than the
Correct.
zone.
Exactly.
You're learning, Paul.
Wicked smart.
So Jets favored by 6.
That's a Paul question.
Yeah.
and a half.
6.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So you get
Which
3.
I think is a little bit of a will you
The
stop
disrespect.
with that, please.
No, so really it's 3.5.
I feel like it's a little bit higher than I thought it would be because the Jets haven't really done much offensively.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
think, we did keys to the game, not to ruin your key, but your key is the key, I think. I think Breece Hall scares me. Like, I just think he's the problem piece today.
Now we just lost like half of our viewership for tomorrow night. They don't need to chime
the
in
point?
because they only chime in to hear
I thought it would
Paul's
be-
key to the game.
we got to tell the guys before they get on
That's
the plane.
part of the pregame show.
But beyond Breece Hall is definitely a problem. Garrett Wilson's a problem. Beyond Garrett Wilson in the passing game, who are we worried about?
They throw to the backs a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they really don't. I mean, Alan Lazard is kind of the other guy that Rodgers seems to trust. Mike Williams finally made a play last week late in that game against the Titans. But in general, that just watching them, Breece Hall, deep ball to Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall. Like, that's just kind of their offense. Now, Braylon Allen has emerged, the rookie running back, so they have a two-headed monster now at running back. That's not all that different than Gibson and Stevenson stylistically, but that was the one takeaway I had from their offense was that kind of shut off those two guys as much as you possibly can. There's not really much else that scares you about this offense.
Yeah.
They haven't had a lot of variations beyond what Evan just talked about. I will say Mike Williams is a guy I'm kind of keeping an eye on because he's basically in Kendrick Bourne's spot. He hurt his knee last year, missed the rest of the season, and he's playing. He's sort of playing himself back into playing shape now. There was a story I saw today that said he played more than he was anticipating playing, and he felt better in week 2 than week 1. Now, Evan's right. I think he's only been targeted once in 2 games, but it was a huge play on the game-winning drive on a 3rd and long. He caught a 19-yard pass. Typical Mike Williams play.
Yeah.
It was like a
high point
50-50 ball. He just
Yep.
went up and high-pointed. I would be surprised if Rodgers didn't take a couple of shots with him, during the course of the night.
Yeah.
Yep. Can we just go back to Kaden Wallace for a second, though?
Sure.
Because it's not quite Drake May. Like, we're not that hyped yet about a rookie starting, but it's a pretty big start, I would say, for Kaden Wallace in this game. If he can just be serviceable or just better than Vidarian Lowe, then that changes things on the offensive line moving forward. I could see him not coming out of the starting lineup if he plays well on Thursday night. So it's not quite, like I said, as much hype around it as if Drake May was playing, but it's not a small thing that we're going to see him play for the first time as a true tackle, and let's see what he's got. If he can hold his own, then he's probably going to be starting for the rest of the season, and maybe they hit on that pick and they're in better shape with the line that has been atrocious. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Wallace can do. I think it's a big moment for him.
And I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I heard early on, even in training camp, that Wallace's problem is he's coming in overweight. He wasn't hitting his weight guideline, and that's been holding him back. I don't know if that's still the case, but hopefully he comes in and just proves that he should have been the starter all along.
Did you hear that about Wallace or Owenu?
No, Wallace. Now I've heard about Owenu too.
Owenu, I have that.
But Owenu was even before, like in the off season, like he gained a lot of weight, is what I heard. But that was a whole different issue.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify
this
that.
is definitely
Okay.
Caden Wallace. It wasn't like it was like 20 pounds. It was like 2, 3, 4 pounds. But they had a number for him, and he wasn't hitting it. And when you're a rookie, that's a bigger deal than when you're a 6-7 year veteran.
I like the thing that Mike said yesterday about Wallace, and that's what I think the better scenario or the more likely scenario would be that he does sort of show that he is competent.
Yeah.
And then you put him at right tackle and move Owenu inside back to guard, and then when Vidarian Lowe is healthy again, you put him back out there, and you still get Evans guy in the draft next year.
Can
Will
Lowe
Campbell
play
will
right?
go left.
Can who?
Can Vidarian Lowe play the right
No,
tackle side?
he's been a disaster playing right tackle, actually.
Because I'd rather, if Caden Wallace can play left, I'd rather keep him there.
I don't.
Yeah.
and change and fool around with the right side.
I just would rather have a guy who's played left tackle play left tackle. than a rookie who's never done it.
I
by
just
that
wonder
time he
about
will.
moving around a guy like Layden Robinson too much too. Like he's another rookie that's playing for his first time in the NFL. If now all of a sudden you flip him to left guard because they have Onwenu at right guard, now you're moving another piece, and now here we go with the musical chairs. Typically you would like to see it one for one, right? Like
But
Wallace goes in for low and everybody else.
But I do
stays the
think that he
same.
played left guard. And now I'm forgetting at Texas A&M.
He didn't in A&M. He didn't
didn't?
start any games at left
Okay.
guard there, but he did play left guard in camp quite a bit.
He definitely played the left side in camp. I thought
Yeah.
Adazio told me that he played all three spots periodically in the interior, but maybe I'm misremembering that. I might be confusing him with someone
I'm
else.
sure he probably could have in practice and that kind of stuff, but in terms of his starts, they were mostly all at right guard.
Okay.
It's
well,
kind of an interesting look between Caden Wallace, who has played 12 snaps so far through 2 games, maybe get his first start, versus Tyron Smith, who's played amazing for 12 years now. I mean, just such a contrast between the two teams, and I wonder. I mean, Caden Wallace probably going to be a little bit more fresh. How does this veteran offensive line of the Jets, how are they feeling today? How are they going to feel tomorrow night? That's one thing I think maybe the Patriots can try to exploit a little bit. Maybe I'm kind of grasping. I don't feel great about this game, to be honest.
Wow.
I felt great about it. Not great. I think I just still had some positivity early in the week, and now I don't know. Jets got a lot of pieces.
They do, but I don't. Listen, the Patriots are going to be underdogs. They should be underdogs. Jets have more talent, but I'm not as scared. I'm not going into this game like, oh God, we don't have a chance. I think we've got a puncher's chance.
I think so. I mean, I don't think, but I just think the Jets have the
Who
playmakers
would
at
you
the
be
end that are going to put
Who
it
would you
over
be
the top.
scared of, just out of curiosity?
Who would I be scared of? Baltimore. I think they've got the type of team that we probably don't match up well with.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers with all
next
their
week.
Especially
Just going to file that one
That's
away.
why-
That's the answer I was looking for. We play them next week.
That's what.
He's going to say, I'm not scared.
But that's why I
Terrified
asked.
is
Other
a
than
better
Garrett,
word, maybe?
other than Garrett Wilson in the passing game, that's why I asked who are we afraid of, because of the way we really didn't look that great against the pass last week.
No.
And that worries me. Yes, the Seahawks have 3 really good receivers, and maybe the Jets don't, and so we look a little bit better. But on the other hand, Rodgers, I think, is still a lot better quarterback than Geno Smith is. So it's one of those things
So he's a guy, like we're talking about the short turnaround. He's a guy that I would be concerned about if I were the Jets. 40 whatever year old, coming off a torn Achilles,
You go right
having
at
to
that
play
and go-
4 years later. I mean, 4
hit 'em
days
low,
later.
hit him low.
I just wonder if he is, because he hasn't moved around. The offensive line has been actually pretty good for the Jets, more so in this Tennessee game than against San Francisco. But they weren't bad, and it's they got some new pieces in there, and they have to protect Rodgers because he's not going to run around and make plays the way he did in Green Bay. Coming off that injury, that's not going to happen. So I think it's important to get after him and make him uncomfortable.
Agreed. I think he's been antsy in the pocket
Yeah.
for 2 weeks.
Well,
I
I mean,
agree.
this is interesting because not that Geno Smith is like a running quarterback, but between Burrow and Smith, they're a little bit more mobile than Rodgers is now. So how does that change up the Patriots' defensive game plan? You figure he's going to be staying in the pocket. You know, so what do you do?
Well-
do you drop back? Do you just flood zones? Do or do you try to get pressure on him?
Yeah, I just watching him play so far with Rodgers, he doesn't look like a guy that wants to spend too much time in the pocket. He's time to release right now is the second fastest in the league, 2.26 seconds, which is a big reason why the pressure numbers for the Jets offensive line is so good, because he's just getting rid of the ball so quickly. It's a lot like end of career Brady, where like he's just not even waiting around for you to generate a pass rush. I look at this Jets team and I would try to disrupt their receivers. I would get it in their guys' faces. You have Christian Gonzalez, put him on Garrett Wilson and try to beat up and throw off the timing of these routes that they're running. I think if you play soft coverage against them, that plays into Rodgers' favor. He's just going to pick you apart underneath. Make him hold the ball. Make him run around a little bit. Make him, test the Achilles. Send Keon White after him. Like that. That's what I would do. If I'm the Jets and I'm a Jets fan, and I don't wish on injuries like Fred does sometimes. Okay, but like
all
That
the
was a
time.
shot.
I
don't know what he's
if
talking about.
I was the Jets,
I blame you, Paul.
and if I was a Jets fan, Keon White coming after Aaron Rodgers in this game would terrify the crap out of me, because if Keon gets a clear shot at Aaron Rodgers in the pocket, I don't know if he's getting up. Like, I really don't. Like, he looks to me like a 40-year-old quarterback right now that's coming off a torn Achilles. Still drops dimes. Like, he can still throw the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but in terms of his mobility and that whole Rodgers, like, improvisational element that he used to have in Green Bay, I don't think that's there anymore.
Okay.
That being said, though, I think I wouldn't have wished on my worst enemy the Patriots pass rush the last couple seasons, and I just don't think you lose Juwan, I think, is going to be like a much bigger loss than people are really even realizing at the moment. And it's just pressuring the quarterbacks isn't really something that we've seen a lot of from the last two games.
Not unless
you know?
it's dialed up, right? Not when you're rushing 3 or 4. They really haven't been able to get home.
Yeah. No, it's, I mean, and listening to Evan talk, it's like, I mean, do you have the downs where you spin the dial and just put 3 guys, rush 3, drop everybody, make them hold it, make him have to extend the play a little bit, make him have to move. It'll be a chess match and short week. I think the experience, though, is always good on these Thursday night games when you're playing a team that you're familiar with. It's a little bit more even, I guess. Just sometimes, I mean, didn't you guys play Tampa like on a 3-day? On the Thursday night, I don't know, with all white uniform.
You
kind of
guys?
thing. You guys, the Patriots. I wasn't here yet.
You
so
weren't one of
guys.
us then?
That
Paul
was
suited
yeah,
up,
they
I
years
remember.
ago. That was like 17.
Yeah.
I wanna
Yeah, they
say.
played Tampa one year. They played Atlanta, I believe, on a Thursday night one year.
The
But
Jacoby Brissett game.
they tend to be. Oh yeah, that Houston game, but that was a long time ago. I thought I was like Atlanta.
16.
For the most part, it's Buffalo. I think they had
Was it Pittsburgh last year. Right?
Pittsburgh last year was a team that you're really familiar with
Yeah.
too.
On
I
the
mean, look
other
at the first 2 weeks. In the NFL, it was 2 AFC East games:
Yep.
Miami, Buffalo, and now
Yep.
New England, the Jets.
Yesterday we were talking about Pop Douglas, why he hasn't gotten more targets. Our team's declaring that, yeah, he's the one guy we have to worry about. He's the one guy that we're not going to let him beat us. If we see Sauce Gardner on Pop tomorrow night, does that answer our question that that's what other teams think?
So I looked it up for you, Paul. Devin Witherspoon did shadow him quite a bit in the game last week. And I would look at Reed as the guy that would follow a guy like Pop Douglas. Like, Sauce Gardner
Smaller.
is
Yeah.
the
Long.
big, long cornerback, outside guy. I would think, Reed is a really good player, too. The other corner for the Jets, if you want to even call him that. They also, Michael Carter, their nickel, is also a really good player inside, too. I think he's banged up, but I'm sure he'll play. Those 2 guys are more of the guy that I would expect to cover somebody like Pop Douglas. Just
Okay.
Sauce is his own kind of thing.
If I was the Jets, I wouldn't overthink it. There's nobody that's that threatening, at least on paper, out of the gate. And let them see if they establish and somebody starts, all right, having a game, and all of a sudden the Patriots are able to throw the ball, then maybe you adjust.
Like
but
Seattle did last week?
yeah, I wouldn't get out of what I do. I want to stay comfortable, and, if they want to just play sides and, challenge New England that way instead of, we're going to change our game plan up to take Pop Douglas away, who had no targets last
Yeah.
week. It seems a little
And
bit
I know I'm a
extreme.
broken record with it, but I also, if I was these opposing defenses, I wouldn't let the running production bother me at all. I would just continue to do, as Mike said, do what you do and
Yeah.
just sort of eliminate any chunk plays. And, there's obviously times in the game where you need to be a little bit more stout on, in those short yardage situations, the red zone situations. I'd give up the yards. I wouldn't overreact to them. And I also think, and I heard a lot of this, the Jets were not bad at all against the run against Tennessee. They were terrible against the run against San Francisco. They got shredded for 4 full quarters against the Niners.
Right.
But against Tennessee, it was 24 carries for 92 yards.
Yeah.
If you eliminate 4 scrambles by Will Levis, which they're not running zone reads all over the place. It's not Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
where you can incorporate Will Levis is a mobile, athletic guy, but he's running around, improvisationally. That's not traditional rushing yards. So that's why they allowed 130 yards. I think he had 4 scrambles for 38 yards.
No.
So I don't think the Jets are as bad as Seattle and Cincinnati were last year against the run. Where those teams were like 31-30 against the run last year. If I were the Jets, I wouldn't do a whole lot different. I would let them, be content that they're going to get, I don't know, 130, 150 yards, whatever it is. But you got to come up with some key stops when you need them. And C.J. Mosley is that's a big loss for them. What's the matter, Fred? What did you fumble?
Around.
Did you fumble?
I lost my shoes.
I got to get the mouse. I mean,
Find my shoes.
anyway.
Well, I was to your point, Paul. It's like the explosive scoring runs, right? Like that's just the no-no. But I mean, you've been consistent on this, and you're defensively being consistent with it as well. Where you're like, it's hard to win games running the ball. So let's don't freak out.
So I
if
just
New
read
England runs the
something
ball.
before the show prep.
There you go.
Imagine that, me.
did some
Now
too, it
it was something that Evan would have been very impressed with because it was very.
Maybe.
Very specifically
Dug out the nickel?
No, they didn't have any 5'9" slot receivers having to dig out the nickel on
Duo.
Duo.
Yeah, you had it. You knew what it was.
I know. I just wanted to hear you finish
Yep.
it. So, just talking about all the stuff that we've been talking about the last year plus now, like the offense is down a little bit, defenses are pushing back, all the too high safety looks, and this gentleman, I think it was Jared Dubin from CBS Sports.
Yeah.
So I want to credit him because I read a lot. It's obviously very thoroughly researched in terms of alignments and throws and EPAs and all that stuff. Truth be told, I glossed right over all the charts because I had no interest in any of them.
Those are the best part. It's like a picture book.
So what it showed is that teams are daring to, they're giving you light boxes. They're daring you to run, and they're daring you to throw it short of the sticks. Teams are throwing it shorter of first downs on third downs now than ever before, and they're rallying to the ball and tackling, and they're basically taking the bait. Offenses are falling right into the trap. And the writer's point is when they've actually tested the too high and they've tried to get downfield, it's working at a higher rate than it was in the past. But teams are still not doing it as much as they should. So his sort of takeaway is offense is down a little bit because they're taking the bait of what defenses are trying to give them, and that's keeping points down as a result because it's a hard, and he actually used the term that we've used throughout the last 2 weeks is it's a hard way to make a living.
Yeah.
When you're having to constantly get double-digit plays to put a scoring drive together without any mistakes.
Yeah, that's I guess my one rebuttal to the Patriots, like not loading up and trying to stop the Patriots running
People
game.
have loaded up to stop the Patriots running game.
It is just that that's their path to victory is shortening the game, keeping the scoring low. If you get into a game with the Patriots where it's Jacoby Brissett versus Aaron Rodgers, literally, the Jets are going to win that game. They might win that game going away. Like that might be a blowout if you get into that kind of game. The Patriots want to run the ball, milk clock, shorten the game, and win this game tomorrow night 16-13.
Yep.
Like that's exactly how they want to play the football game. If I'm the opponent, I'm saying, well, you might win a game like that against us. Like you could win a game like that against a good team.
Right. That's why if I were the Jets, I wouldn't sit there and say, well, I got to take what they're giving me. And no, I would make them make plays down the field and try to put points on the board.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Well, what do we think?
I don't know. You just had a big blank.
No, I was just wondering if
blank
Swayman was
stare.
done yet. Do we have any? What happened?
No.
Coco
done.
Cox was reporting
Not done.
that Swayman was done.
So
and now I'm not sure.
I'm gonna try to be nice.
He wasn't at our game this weekend.
No Sway?
The whole
Oh, he
team
wasn't
came
with
out.
the-
He wasn't there.
Yeah. I noted that. I was like looking at the picture like Swayman.
Do your hockey talk
Sorry.
on your own.
Sorry.
time. All right, 855
Sorry.
PATS 500 is the Ace Ticket hotline. Web radio at patriots.com is the email address. Remember, we're going to be doing picks at about 12:40 or so because Evan and I have to leave early. So I want to get in some calls and emails before I leave so I can take care of our listeners. Justina is in North Carolina. What's up, Justina?
Hi, everyone. I just want to say I know a little bit about football. I never played football, but I know a little bit because I was a cheerleader and band and all that. So I do know a little bit, but I don't know the names of different positions that well. But I was thinking that I kind of feel sorry for Jacoby because I feel like he's fighting for his life. I mean, at first I was like, oh, Dre, but I just look at Kobe's personality. It seems like he's fighting for his life. and he's taking hits. And I think if he's hurt, he's not going to come out. And that's kind of, I'm kind of sad about that.
Yeah.
Because he knows if Drake comes in, Drake may come in for a little while and do better than him. And I think that may feel like they may bench him, but I kind of feel sorry for him in that respect. It's kind of selfish, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I feel sorry for him because
I hear you, Justine. Oh, sorry about that. No, I hear.
It's a good point.
It is a great point but at the same time, he knew what he was getting into when he came here.
Yeah.
They were gonna, they had this young kid, and he's a placeholder, and he knows that. But I hear what she's saying. You got that job. You don't want to give it up. You're gonna until he has to be carted off. He's not gonna come out of a game.
Yeah.
And it gets back to the whole Tua thing. What's best for the player, but. Players want to play, and they're going to do whatever they can to play. This is what they know how to do. This is what they did all their lives. And you get a situation like this, Justine is exactly right. If May comes in and he does well, as we hope he will, he's never going to be taken out. That's it.
Yeah, Evan had a good locker room stat last night with Jacoby. I can tee you up to
Which
say
one?
that. That
Which
he's got
one?
Which one?
One turnover-worthy play.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah,
the two?
0 big-time throws to 1 turnover-worthy play. So he's literally just managing the game.
He's almost net neutral. He's slightly
he's,
below net
He's
neutral.
literally net neutral. He's 15th in the league in EPA out of 31 quarterbacks. So he's literally smack dab in the middle of the league right now in terms of quarterback play. He doesn't make any plays, and he doesn't cost you any plays.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And unfortunately, they just have an offense that doesn't create a lot of layups for the quarterback in the passing game. Like, if they were able to create some open guys down the field, I think you would get him the ball, but he's not going to make plays happen on his own. And that's sort of where they're at with
That's
it.
why I think it's the turnovers. When the turnovers start happening, that's when the drumbeat for Drake will get loud, and I think we'll all be on board, because if he starts turning the ball over, then that whole net neutral thing is out the window.
Well, that's the
unless he's
thing. To
making
this
good plays.
point, it's kind of been a pleasant surprise how Jacoby's handled pressure, and I feel like there should be way more turnovers at this point, way more sacks that they've taken, and maybe it is that element of he's playing to keep this job and has a lot to prove the whole NFL, but in my eyes, at least, I was way pleasantly surprised.
Well, maybe this is a kind of a question for Evan, but anyone can answer. This AVP offense, isn't it supposed to be sort of like a West Coast offense? Because it doesn't look like West Coast to me.
On
it's
third
been
down,
conservative.
or obvious passing situations, sure, but everything that they run early down is based off the run game. So their run play action on first and second down. So this is the modern West Coast. This is not Bill Walsh's West Coast. It kind of is in the passing game. When they get into obvious, drop back pass. But early downs, this is, Shanahan, Cleveland, that kind of stuff. This is outside zone. It's play action. It's, 7-step drop from under center. It's not what Joe Montana was running in the 80s with
that
the
rhythmic
49ers.
type of, boom, boom, boom.
It's supposed to
out to the
be
flat.
Rice on a slant.
Yeah,
right.
It's supposed to be in obvious pass situations when they're straight drop back. And that's the idea. That's the whole left foot forward thing, and all that kind of stuff is all predicated on the timing of the offense. But it's not. Their early down stuff is different from what they were maybe doing.
Yeah. Well, to me, that type of offense requires guys that can get open on time, right?
Yeah, like Pop Douglas maybe, but
L from Wisconsin writes in, I just wanted to give my take on when May should start next week versus the 49ers.
Ooh.
Everything is going for it. Long week of preparation, and on top of that, no expectations to win. Throw 5 picks, best D in the league. He's fine. We weren't going to win that game anyway. That lets him get experience under his belt for Miami, which should be a winnable game with a backup quarterback.
Wait,
Okay.
You want him to start against the 49ers?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Sorry, I
scary.
didn't hear
Lower
that part.
expectations.
Yeah.
No, I think, unfortunately, more and more, if Jacoby keeps getting hit like this, this is not going to be a conversation we have too much longer, because he's going to be out.
I just wish I had more information on Drake. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
About his
How's he doing?
his readiness.
Yeah, how's he doing when we don't see him? In the quarterback room, when they're watching film, how does what's his mental capacity.
And we should mention that El just brought up Miami officially. Tua was placed on IR. So, yeah, you'll avoid him, at least in the first matchup. We'll see what happens long-term with him in that concussion.
Bart in Poland. So we face the Bengals without Higgins, Seahawks without Walker, Jets without their best pass rushers, 49ers without CMC and Debo, and now Miami without Tua. I think Paul may have had something when he always said that we always seem to catch the biggest breaks. If I'm Miami, I'm making a call to Carolina right now and asking about Bryce Young. What do you think are the odds that May starts the London game? Before the season, it seemed more than likely. Now it seems to be a long shot.
That's a lot of questions in one.
That's opposite of what El said. I mean, we are getting breaks.
Yeah. I just think they're the same as that you've gotten pretty consistently the last couple of years. I mean, for a while, but you caught a lot of breaks the last 2 years too, and didn't take advantage of them.
Yeah. I mean, Bryce Young is not. That's not happening. Like, they just paid Tua $200 million. Like,
well,
so
the only thing that it wouldn't happen like now.
Yeah.
But if Tua decides to retire, then maybe that is something that McDaniel says, hey, I can work with that and fix it. I would be skeptical of that because I just think
it'll take a while, get him up to speed.
And I think that's
and then what?
I don't know.
Next year?
Just watching the offense, Miami's offense, it looks like that's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in that. Like, there's a lot of sort of like, I don't know, a lot of faking, a lot of carrying out of fakes, a lot of okay, probably a better way to put it. Like, there's a lot of misdirection stuff that I don't think you could just roll out of bed and know. I'd be curious to see what it looks like with Skylar Thompson this week for Miami, because I know everybody thinks Tua sucks, and but they tend to only win games when he plays. But in fairness, I said that a lot about San Francisco when it was Jimmy, and they win more with Brock Purdy than they did with Jimmy, because all the other guys between those two couldn't win any games. But it turns out that was more of a C.J. Beathard / Nick Mullins problem than it was anything that Garoppolo was doing.
I do wonder if the Patriots face Skylar Thompson. Like, maybe it's Ryan Tannehill, maybe it's somebody like that along those lines.
But either way, like Paul said, you're bringing in somebody,
Well, I thought it was interesting they brought in Huntley, Tyrone Huntley. Evidently Tyler. What's his nickname? Snoop. Yeah, I didn't know this. Someone on Twitter just put, Snoop Hunt. I was like, is that a thing? Like,
yes, it is.
I got caught being, 56 again. I just went right over my head.
Not again. Sipping that gin and juice.
Andrew in L.A., in regards to the Jacoby versus May conversation, I think the two main objections to May playing right now is, one, he doesn't know the system, and two, the offensive line is too bad, he's going to get hurt. Would you agree? If you do, I have 2 points to prove how May should start. In regards to him not knowing the system, does Jacoby know the system? I've not seen someone who can skillfully operate this offense. And secondly, I do not think this offense would work without heavy play action. And I don't think the play action would work because there is an unwillingness from Jacoby to throw downfield, which leads me to the offensive line. Would the pressure be less if the defense was getting cooked by a quarterback who could stretch the field? I have seen many missed receivers that are wide open deep. If the field is condensed, the pressure will increase. Okay, well, I think he's saying it's all about, making the offense look better.
I would strongly disagree with that he's seen many receivers who are wide open deep. There are some. It's an NFL game. There are going to be some times that you can watch the game and it's easy.
I blame this on you and your ilk.
JT O'Sullivan always says that it's easy with a clicker. Like, you can sit here with a clicker watching the game back and play target practice and say, oh, he should have hit this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. Like, when you don't know the progressions, you don't know where his eyes are, you don't know what he's feeling in the pocket. Like, it's really hard to go out and say that there aren't a lot of open receivers down the field. He is not a risk taker. So when you combine those two things together, he is not going to give a 50-50 ball to Jalen Polk down the field because
sometimes you got to throw him open, Evan.
I don't disagree. And that's where the Drake May conversation comes in. Yeah. But that's where they're at right now, where there is not a lot of opportunities to push it. And if he is going to push it, then he's putting it in harm's way, and he doesn't want to do that.
All right, Jim in Virginia on the TPX hotline. What's up, Jim?
Hey, Fred. Good afternoon to the panel. I have a follow-up question to what you were just talking about. Patriots have had some real success running the ball the last 2 games, and I've really enjoyed seeing that part. But they have had no play action, and I don't understand why not. I'll listen to what you have to say.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Why no play action?
I'm sure there are a lot of reasons. Mine is I don't feel like they have a lot of faith in having him turn his back to the line.
I was just going to say it. Maybe they're worried about him turning his back to the defense.
Yeah, there's a couple of factors, like you'd have to divvy up a pie, right? Like I would say the biggest one, blame slice goes to the offensive line. Like they just don't really have the blocking to hold up in the play action game right now. Like there are times where they play action and it works, and then there's pressure in his face, and that causes issues on the throw. I think the second thing is that they, Paul was talking about it earlier, these trends of playing a lot of these 2 deep safety shells. When they dial up play action, they're seeing a lot of split safety, and that you're not going to attack the deep part of the field when teams are playing those types of coverages. And the last thing, he's missed some throws. Like he has missed some throws. He had Jalen Polk on a crosser off of play action on Sunday that wide right. Those types of throws do happen. But when you put all those things together, it's where they're at. I would say the biggest thing though is they just can't block it. Like play action takes time. You have to draw out the run fake. You have to get the fake off. You have to turn back around. You have to get your eyes up the field and make the throw. That can take 3.5, 4 seconds to do, and they don't have that kind of time.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would just say that the numbers again in week 2 were very similar to week 1 in yards after contact for the running game. So, like I know people are like, well, you're running the ball this well, you should be able to play action, and we've talked about this a lot. There's really not much of a correlation between successful running and play action. You can play action if you dial it up, you time it right, you get the right situations and whatnot. But I would say that based on what I've seen in 2 games, there's plenty of defenders around to make these stops in the running game. They're coming into the backfield, not unblocked, but quickly.
Yeah.
So if you're going to consistently turn your back to the defense and it's not a running play, well, that's not a tackle you're breaking to get the yards on offense. You're just going after the quarterback who's not knowing you're coming. And I think Alex made the point earlier about being pleasantly surprised at how many sacks Brissett has avoided. I would agree with that. I think, what is it, like 4 sacks in 2 games? It seems like it should be at least double that.
So he's been sacked 4 times on 27 pressure dropbacks. So he's 8th in the league in pressure to sack rate, which is pretty good. Pressure to sack rate is one of those stats that I particularly like because it shows how good quarterbacks are at handling pressure and avoiding sacks. And he's 8th in the league. Guys, Caleb Williams is dead last, right? It takes a lot of sacks. So very first play action drop back at the game last week, they blitz both corners off the edges, and he's like dead to rights in the pocket, and he somehow gets out and gets Hunter Henry on an off-script play. Like he's made quite a bit of those types of plays, getting out of pressure. So he deserves credit for that.
All right. As I warned everyone, we're a little bit out of sequence this show, because the team's leaving for New Jersey. Evan and I are going to have to leave, but we want to get our picks in while we're all here. So it is that time.
This was bad, wasn't it?
Who picked all those upsets?
Last week was a disaster.
Was
there 7 or 6 upsets?
I was fine.
Really bad. No, you didn't. Everybody was really, really bad. I was by far the worst.
I don't know what's going on with Uncle Paulie. He's not doing so hot.
As he puts on his glasses.
Yeah.
So the winner, Evan is right. He was the winner. I would not be flexing over 9-7 mark. But, however,
but in a week 2,
it was the best.
Good.
That was terrible.
It's above 500.
Week 2.
Followed by Alex and Fred at 7-9. This is overall.
Yeah.
7-9.
I know.
Followed by Mike at 6-10, and Paul 5-11.
Sheesh.
Wow.
5-11.
You can't even believe it.
What's going on?
You know how bad you have to be to go 5-11 just picking the games?
It's pretty bad. Week 2, though, you don't really know.
Embarrassing.
The feel for the
Stop
league.
making
Yeah.
excuses.
That's what we
So-
said. Week 1 and 2, hardest to pick.
Hard.
With the
I can't
spread,
believe I'm losing to this guy.
Alex and Evan with the spread 8-7-1.
Not bad.
Followed by Mike and Fred 7-8-1, and Paul 6-9-1. Terrible. So here are the overall standings. Mike and Alex lead the way at 19 and 13, followed by Evan at 18 and 14,
I'm on the heels.
and Paul and Fred 16 and high five 16 and 16. you gotta try to be that bad.
It's all right.
With the spread, Fred at least responds with the spread, unlike me. 18-12-2. He's leading the way, followed by Evan at 17-13-2, Mike 16-14-2, Alex 15-15-2, and Paul 13-17-2.
Okay, so we got a lot of making up to do.
This is
Week
an-
3.
Some of us.
Now we should all have a feel for the
2024
league.
Bizarro Picks Contest.
I'm expecting everyone to improve on those numbers this week.
I make no promises,
We're gonna
bro.
skip over the
We
Patriots
didn't
game.
even mention that I got the exact score correct on the Patriots game
No, we
as
don't do
well.
that. We
I
don't-
didn't.
we
I
don't talk
didn't
about
mention
that.
that because
Yeah,
I don't
should've
write it
mentioned
down.
that.
It's not
I
written.
forget what my score I pick is instantly when I leave this room.
Well, I didn't because I got it right.
That's a good point. Because
I
I
said-
wouldn't forget it if I, nailed it.
I said 17-16 Patriots, so I was off.
Wrong.
23-20 Seahawks.
Congratulations.
No, that is what the score was.
All right, let's get to the 1 o'clock games on Sunday on Fox. It's the 0-2 Giants at the 1-1 Browns.
Cleveland by 6.
6 points. I'm going to take Cleveland to win at home, but I'm going to take those points from the Giants. This Nabbers guy looked pretty good last week.
18 targets.
You're going to be close,
Yeah.
but
I'm
Cleveland
going to
wins.
follow Deuce's lead.
So the Giants lost last week by scoring 3 touchdowns to 0 touchdowns for the opponent. Washington kicked 7 field goals
Yeah.
and won that game.
Yep.
Which is wild. I am
Wild.
going to take Cleveland as well, and I'm going to do the same thing as you guys. I'm going to take Cleveland, but I'm going to take the Giants to cover.
I am going to take Cleveland both ways. Something not right. The Giants. There's a lot of bickering. I think my boy Dable's hearing way too much. I don't like what's going on there. Bad mojo.
Yeah.
Bring him here.
Yep. I'm with Paul. Browns both ways. I think the collapse. They played. They had spirit last week. The Giants did, but I think that's it. They're done. 1 o'clock on CBS. The 1-1 Bears are at the 0-2 Colts.
Indy by 1.
Ooh, tough one. What's that? What's that really though, Fred?
Well, they're -2 then.
Yeah,
Plus
see.
2.
Well, there you go. Tells you all you need to know. I don't know. I'm going to go Cleveland at home.
No, Indy's +1. They get 3, so they're -2.
They're at home, so they
They get 3.
There you
right.
Right.
So it's really like they're plus 2.
They should be 4.
So if you're getting 3, that means they're favored by 1.
No, they're not getting it.
They're giving points. They're favored by 1.
They didn't get the 3.
You're welcome, everybody.
If you're going to follow the nonsensical 3 points
No,
for the home
don't-
team
don't
thing,
bring-
what would the spread be if it was neutral?
Don't bring me into this.
I'm so confused.
Anyone?
4.
Anyone?
plus 3, because you get 3 points at home. You would giving plus 3, right?
Plus 2.
If it was 0, I thought you get 3 at home.
You get 3 at home.
No
He says you get 3. It's not. It doesn't exist, but he insists that you get 3 at
Oh,
home.
it's a rule. Yeah.
So they're favored by 1.
Isn't 3 minus 3 0?
So that would be.
Why are we minusing 3?
Because you said it was 0.
That would be.
We gotta
the-
hurry. We gotta hurry. We gotta hurry. What do the sharps know?
What?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
The
Indy by 1.
plus
Indy
is
by
an
1.
indoor
Indy
turf
both
game.
ways.
Paul.
Indy by 1.
Indoor
Right.
turf game.
Mike?
Indy, I'll lay the points at home against Caleb Williams. I think. I don't know. I don't feel great about it.
Also don't feel great about it, but Indy both ways.
I'm just going to take Indy because they're at home, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any good feel for this game at all. I think both these teams are kind of mediocre, but I'm going to go Indy.
Yeah. I kind of liked a lot of what I saw from Williams in the first half of the Houston game, but I'm going to take Indianapolis.
I think this is a layup. Colts, easy.
Tampa.
Easy money.
Confidence.
CBS, 1 o'clock, 2-0 Texans at the 2-0 Vikings.
Ooh,
Houston by 2.5.
Sneaky good game.
sneaky good game indeed. Although you wouldn't have thought so before last week in that Minnesota
I
win.
know, right?
But you know what? I'm going to go with Houston. I just been really impressed with them. I think Minnesota falls back to earth a little bit, but I'll lay those 2.5.
Who you took Houston?
Yes, please.
I agree. I think not necessarily a reality check for Minnesota, but just bring him back down a little bit. Houston.
Yeah, I don't know about Justin Jefferson in this game. Looks like his status is somewhat questionable, but I'm going to go Houston too. I think Minnesota's. It's been nice with Sam Darnold, but eventually they got to come to roost.
Yeah, and Jordan Addison didn't finish that previous game either. I don't know what his status is, but I'm going to take Houston both ways. Vikings huge win, against the Niners.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to ratchet it back up, but Minnesota's been impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Texans, but I will take those points. So, close game in Minnesota. Nail biter. Fox at 1 o'clock. The 1-1 Eagles are at the 2-0 Saints.
How about them Saints?
New Orleans by 2.5.
Good for Derek Carr.
Thank you, Alvin Kamara.
Saints by 2.5.
Correct.
Got it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do New Orleans at home. Keep the train rolling. Philadelphia, some questions. I don't know. This is what happened last year, right? Like they started losing some games, and
Well, they
it
didn't
gets
start
dicey.
losing games till later.
I know it's starting earlier this year. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I'll take New Orleans and lay the points.
I'm going to take Philly. I'm going to give New Orleans the points.
Nick Sirianni on full fraud watch.
Just so you know, New Orleans is favored. So you're taking Philly.
Oh. Not on mine. Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, this is.
We go by DraftKings. That is our sponsor.
DraftKings.
Well,
one's
today
wrong.
I'm going by Deuces
The crown
sheet.
is yours.
So.
I'm trying to screw Alex up.
All right. Repeat it one more time for me.
New Orleans is favored by 2.5.
Gotta hurry.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take Philly.
I'm taking Clint Kubiak and the Saints, just lighting it up on the scoreboard. Saints.
So I'm going to take Philly to win outright, but the Saints' offensive start worries me against that defense, which looked really, really shaky. But I'm going to take Philly to bounce back. I think they're better, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure they are.
I agree. Philly's going to have a roller coaster season. They'll bounce back and they'll win this one.
Saquon, catch
1
the ball.
o'clock on CBS. Yeah, he's got some making up to do. 1 o'clock on CBS. The 2-0 Chargers at the 2-0 Steelers.
Steelers by 1.5.
Jeez, Steelers. Did you guys see Harbaugh like pumping up the Steelers? It's kind of funny. He's a character, man. He's a little weird. Like
No,
I kind of
he's-
like
he's
it.
a
but
lot
he's
weird.
Just,
Yeah, he's not a
like,
little weird. He's a
kind of on
lot
the
weird.
spectrum a little bit. Like just I don't know, but I like him. I
I'm not
like
sure
him.
you can say that.
No,
by the way.
it's the vibe I got. But I'm going to take the Chargers on the road on a big upset. I like what he had to say. I believe in him.
I am too. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, and I think both these teams play football like it's 1950. But I'm
Couldn't agree more.
I'm going with the Chargers though, just because I think they have the better quarterback.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to take the Chargers as well. I think this would be one of those, like Pittsburgh the last couple of years has been in a pattern where no one expects anything out of them. They win a couple of games, people get excited, then they lose inexplicably at home to teams that they feel
Like the Patriots.
Yeah, that would be a perfect example. I think the Chargers are a little better. I like Evan's point about the quarterback. I'll take the Chargers.
Me too. I'm taking the Chargers as well. I'm surprised. All right, 1 o'clock Fox. The 0-2 Broncos are at the 2-0 Buccaneers.
The Baker Mayfields by 6.5.
Ooh. Definitely going to take Tampa in this one. It's just a question of if it's close or not. I don't know. I just wonder with Sean, what's his face, the coach now. Peyton.
Sean, what's his face?
I'm a little avid today.
That's the kind of analysis you can get only on Patriots Unfiltered.
Sean, what's his name?
Played Tampa a lot, though. Familiar with the team, the
Sure.
area. But I don't think it's enough.
The area, he knows where Mons Venus is. I mean, what else?
I'm going to lay the
Dinner
points.
spot the night before the
Baker
game.
Mayfield, Baker Bakes.
Tampa,
Baker
both
bakes.
ways. Baker bakes.
Tampa wins. And I'll give Denver the points.
This is Dad's survivor pool pick this week.
Oh,
He's
yeah?
2-0. His friends are starting to ask questions about who's actually making the picks. And I am taking Tampa both ways because I think Todd Bowles against Bo Nix is going to have a field day.
Yeah, I thought about taking the points like Alex did, but I think they're gonna get hot, and then they're gonna fall behind, and he's gonna make more mistakes. So I'm gonna lay the points. Tampa both ways.
So you're laying the points.
Correct. That's what I said. I'm gonna lay the points. Tampa both ways. It's exactly what I just said.
So Tampa will win by more than 6.
Yes.
Okay.
That's Tampa both ways would indicate that Tampa will win by
Okay,
more than the spread.
Buccaneers win, but I'm going to take the points, which means they're not going to win.
Okay. Everybody besides you knows that.
Okay.
That's what it means.
All right. Baker Bakes. Sunday at 1 on Fox, the 1-1 Packers are at the 0-2 Titans.
Titans by 3.
We got Malik Willis
Another
again?
Malik Willis
Malik
game.
Willis. I didn't catch any of this game, Green Bay game last
So
week.
you guys follow this stuff probably a little bit more closely. Like Jordan Love was legitimately a possibility last week,
I don't know. I'm not
He
familiar.
was.
but not really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
Tennessee by
So
3.
this would be the Malik Willis revenge game, right? That's
Correct.
what this would be.
Ooh.
But
Well
it's
done,
not
Deuce.
because I'm going to take. I don't even know why. Will Levi's. I'm going to take Will Levi's at home. Stop throwing dumb picks, fumbles, mistakes. Idiot.
How about
Idiot.
you hear Brian Callahan?
I loved it.
What are you doing? Oh, that one.
What the F are you
What are you
doing?
effing
But then they
doing?
asked him about it after because he made the same mistake that he made last week. We talked about it. He did the same exact thing. It was like,
I love it. Error repeater. Why am I taking Tennessee? I don't know. Give me Tennessee.
I love getting like a really bad lip reading F-bomb on national television. Tennessee gets their first win at home.
So Will Levis makes some of the worst turnovers in the league, and they also had a blocked punt in that game too. That
both games.
Yeah, that kept the Jets, in that game and let Rodgers do his thing. I'm taking the Packers. They did exactly what I expected them to do with Malik. Just manage the game, run the ball. I think they ran for 260 yards against Indy. I think they do it again.
yeah, this will be the last one. I'm going to give you one more chance. I'm going to take Tennessee. This will be the last time I doubt Green Bay without the quarterback.
Yeah, me
Maybe the
too.
quarterback is meaningless. We'll see.
I wouldn't
if
go
they
that
can do
far.
it again.
I'm going to go with the Packers. I think they're going to come back and win this game. Titans are not a good team. 4:05, we're going to move to the afternoon games, late afternoon games. But first, as easy as that transition is, so is Bud Light. It's easy to drink. It's easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the New England Patriots. And we got a new read for Bob, so I'm very excited.
Well, let's do it.
Are you getting ready for a marathon game day watch party? Make sure you're well rested with a brand new mattress from Bob's Discount Furniture. So I guess you're going to be doing this watch party in your bed. But anyway,
How are you getting ready
when you
for it?
dare to
Resting?
compare Bob's top-rated signature mattresses, cutting-edge Bobopedic technology, and everyday low prices, and I'm talking about over $1,000 less than the competition, you can sleep well knowing that you've snagged a winning combination of top-of-the-line features and unbeatable values. So stop in and see how much you can save when you dare to compare with Bob's Discount Furniture, the official furniture store of the New England Patriots. All right, so 4:05 on CBS. The 0-2 Panthers are at the 1-1 Raiders.
How about them Raiders?
Oh, boy.
Raiders
Oh,
by
boy.
5.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders on this one. I feel like this is a bad matchup. Carolina stinks. Andy Dalton.
Are we
Probably-
all taking the
probably
Raiders here?
partying.
I'm
Yeah.
taking Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, give me Vegas.
All right. So
I'll take
you're
Vegas,
taking
yep.
Vegas.
You-
Evan?
What do you
Raiders,
got, a
Raiders.
plane to catch?
Yeah, kind of.
Raiders. I'll stop giving
Yeah.
my
No
spiels.
analysis.
Yep.
I am going to take the Panthers because I don't trust the Raiders. And
Over-
Bryce Young is not
outright?
playing. Yeah, I'm going to take the upset on the
Wow.
Raiders.
Okay. Good.
He's
That's
trying to make up
Making
ground.
moves.
that's
Yep.
a ball knower move.
Making moves.
No, I'll take the Raiders as well, both ways. 4:05 CBS. 1-1 Dolphins at the 2-0 Seahawks.
Seattle by 4.5.
Skylar Thompson.
Whew. Yeah, that's tough. I always like Seattle at home. Geno Smith played amazing last week. Can he do it again? Is it sustainable? I'm not sure. But I'm going to take Seattle. I'll take them at home, just given the quick change for Miami this week.
Seattle.
Yeah, I'm taking Seattle both ways. That seat on Mike McDaniel's getting a little toasty.
He just signed a huge extension, so I think he's fine with that.
A little toasty.
I'm going to take Seattle to win, but I will take the points.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take Seattle both ways. 4:25 on Fox. The 1-1 Lions at the 1-1 Cardinals.
Ooh.
What did I say about the Cardinals' offense last week?
Yeah, Del Rio.
They were
I
good.
said they'll be top 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They look good.
They are scoring points.
Marvelous Marvin Harrison.
Detroit by 2.5.
Detroit.
It's a good game. It's a good afternoon watcher. I can't buy in just yet to Kyler Murray. I know he looked great last week, but I'm going to take Detroit on the road. I'll lay the points.
Kyler's been making me eat my words, so I'm gonna pick Detroit to win, but I think it's a close game. I think Arizona's frisky.
I'm taking the Cardinals in this game. I just don't really like some of the coaching I'm seeing from the Lions. And Drew Petzing, learn the name. Cardinals offensive coordinator. Good at his job.
Tight pants.
Very.
He is a tight
Very
pants guy.
tight.
Okay,
I'm going to take the Lions to bounce back. I agree with Evan, though. They run the ball too much. They got to stop that. It's keeping the points down. Lions both ways, though.
Taking the Cardinals. Taking the
Did you
Cardinals.
see Dan Campbell crying at the post-game press conference because he messed up at the
he,
halftime?
he openly cost his team a game,
Yeah,
so I don't
it's-
blame him. But
It's on me.
he's a meathead. What are you going to do?
4:25 on Fox. 0-2
Loser.
Ravens are at the 1-1 Cowboys.
Okay, so this was the spread that kind of raised my eyebrows the most this week. Baltimore by 1.5.
I'm not surprised.
I am a little bit. On
I'm
the
stunned.
road, 0-2 at Dallas. Still
Dallas,
favored.
one of the best home teams in the league, even though they lost last
Wait,
week
can
at
you
home.
do your little rant on Dallas? What is it this week? Last week you nailed Dallas, although you didn't pick Dallas.
No,
to-
because I was a meow.
So don't be meow this week. What would happen? What would Dallas do this week? Share your gift.
Took Alex a second to figure it out.
It did.
Screw it. I'm going Dallas. Going Dallas.
I don't have a theory
The
this
upset.
week, Deuce.
Plus 1.5.
Plus 1.5.
Got it.
I'm gonna take a Baltimore bounce back, and I will give them the points because there's not many.
I just can't imagine the Ravens starting 0-3.
Me either.
It's
I
just
know.
so hard
And
for
that's
me
my
to
the
see
words
only
out of
that.
my
logic
mouth.
behind this pick.
Yeah,
So
you
It's
took
my only logic too because I'm with Paul. Dallas at home is usually a
Mhm.
monster. I just they're
Especially
too good.
coming
to,
off a loss.
They're too good to be 0-3.
Yeah, and for that reason, I'm taking the Ravens. I can't imagine the desperation right now in
Right.
that building.
I
So
agree.
I will
Damn.
take them, but
if they lose,
That's
It's a
why
funny
I'm taking
spread
the
to me.
Ravens. I can't imagine them 0-3. All right, 4:25 on Fox. The 1-1 49ers are at the 0-2 Rams.
you can sign, seal, deliver the Rams season. I talk about just self-destruction before you even get started. The whole
Mhm.
team is out,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for an extended period of time. To the point where on ESPN they were talking about trading Stafford to the Raiders. Did you hear that
Just
yesterday?
I did.
Mina Kimes?
Yeah.
And like I first heard it and I was like, that's what. And then I was like, you know what? She convinced me.
She's good at that.
The Rams, no receivers, no offensive linemen. Other than that, they have an old quarterback who can't move anymore.
That was the play.
Yeah.
San Francisco,
All-
7-point
this
favorites
is-
on the road.
This is hospital San Francisco too, though. Like both
Right.
teams are just decimated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to take San Francisco to win, but I'm going to take those points for the Rams. I just think it'll be a little closer than that.
And San Francisco owns the Rams.
Yeah.
And there we go.
I like
there
to,
it is.
I like to give you my little,
Who owns?
my NFC West
Owns.
trends.
Niners.
I'm taking the 49ers per usual, but I will take the Rams to cover because both these teams are banged up. So I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners both ways. I don't think the Rams have any ability to put any points on the board without, 6 starters on offense.
Yep. Sturdy with Purdy. 49ers both ways. All right, now we move to 8:20 Sunday night on NBC and Universo. The 2-0 Chiefs are at the 1-1 Falcons.
Kansas City in prime time. You never see that.
Way too much
Oh.
Atlanta in prime time. Like I don't need to. The Falcons. Like, can they prove something before we send all them?
The other
in
night
these
was so
prime-
fun.
At the end, it was.
I enjoyed that.
Fred just ran out of the room. Kansas City by 3.5.
Do I have to slow play this one? Is that
No. No,
We'll get it later.
Because
I'll get it in post.
Because I'm going Kansas City. That's my rule. Till further notice, always taking Kansas City.
Yeah,
Take
until
Kansas
they
City.
burn me. Chiefs.
until they stop getting all the calls.
Oh,
I'm going to
boy.
go Chiefs as
Oh
well.
my God.
So can I just ask and this is
I
a serious
knew-
question.
I knew
No,
this would get- I knew
because
it.
I'm conducting a
crawled
poll
right
because
under
I
there.
had a conversation with someone about this. No. There's one play I want to know your opinion. I don't care
Yes.
about any of the other plays.
Sure.
I have another rant on something else, but I'll save it for another time.
Yep.
The 4th and 16 pass interference. Do you think that was a good call or a bad call?
Correct call by the rule.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Terrible time
That's
to
all
call it.
I had someone tell me it was a terrible call. There was no contact. The defensive back has the right to the ball.
I would
And
just
I said, I can no longer be part of this conversation, and we did not argue about it for 1
You
second.
just walked away.
I would
'cause I
just
can't
rather
argue with those
not make
people.
that call with the game on the line.
I would
That's
argue,
it.
I would rather that the moron for Cincinnati just say, I don't need to do this. It's 4th and 16. I'm going to make sure that I knock the ball down instead of trying to take the guy's head off. That's what I would rather have.
Yeah.
But that's me. So Kansas City both
Anywho.
ways.
Yes.
I'm going to take Kansas City, but Kansas City tends to lay some eggs in spots that you don't expect them to. I think this is a tougher game than people think. I'll take the points.
I think the Falcons are frisky, though. They've shown a little bit.
Kansas
so-
City by 3.5.
Yeah.
Kansas City both ways.
Okay.
Yep.
Just had to
Sorry
call you
about
Mike,
that.
Mike, good job slow playing that. You got
Yeah.
I didn't
you
slow
got Freddie back in his seat.
I
I
thought you were
I
the
drank
one
a
that
whole
was-
thing of Gatorade.
Yeah, you guys were running it out.
I drank a whole thing of Gatorade, and with my prostate, it was in me, and it had to come out.
That's
I
why
had
it was
that
such a
earlier.
fast
Drinking tea.
I was worried, honestly, so I'm glad that's all it was.
Okay, no, we're good.
Double Monday nights too. What do we?
2 Monday nights.
Yeah, doubleheader on Monday night.
Woohoo!
Why do we do
7:30.
this?
Why do we?
I love it.
The first one's at 7:30 on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. The 0-2 Jaguars are at the 2-0 Bills.
Buffalo by 5. I just hate that it's in a week that it's a red zone Sunday.
Right.
You know,
get
you're
to see
taking the
'em.
game away from me.
Terrible.
But Buffalo by 5.
Yeah, I doubted Buffalo last week against Miami. Sorry, guys. I'm an idiot for that one.
Sorry.
I'm going back with Buffalo. Josh Allen, he looked really good last week.
MVP. MVP.
It's almost like the
Buffalo.
window's not closed.
Buffalo.
I'm going Buffalo both ways. My Josh Allen MVP pick is looking fantastic right now.
Did you put money on that?
Might be the best quarterback in the league. Sorry.
Yeah.
Argue with your mama.
I'm going to take Buffalo to win. I'm going to take the points. Jacksonville tends to play Buffalo tough. They've beaten them, I know, in London.
They did. They beat
we'll
him a
see.
couple years ago, like 9-6 or something.
So we'll see if
bizarre.
they and they beat them definitely in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see if they can keep it close in Buffalo.
The window is closing in Buffalo, but they go 3-0. So they win both ways.
That James Cook.
which is not contradictory at all.
8:15 on ABC and ESPN Plus. The 1-1 Commanders are at the 0-2 Bengals.
Cincinnati by 7.5.
That's a big
It's a
one.
big number.
What am I
I
missing with that?
feel like Cincinnati is back against the wall. Let one get away last week. They've got to be sick to their stomachs about it being 0-2. Jamar Chase getting in shape, maybe starting to come along. Not sure Higgins' status. Is he knocking on the door yet? Not yet. Doesn't matter. I'm going with Cincinnati, but I will
so.
take the points for Washington. I think it'll be a close one.
You never know with the extra day. You know, that could help.
Yeah, I think it's. I won't call it a must-win for Cincinnati, but they really got to win.
Kind of
and then
is,
I'll
yeah.
also give. Oh yeah, same way as Deuce. Commanders get the points.
I'm going Cincinnati both ways. I think they get it right, but I do think Jaden Daniels looks good and like put some highlights out there. But I like Cincinnati.
Yeah, I am with Evan. I think it is kind of a must-win for Cincinnati, and I think they blow doors off. I don't think Washington's look very good.
Yeah, I think you got a pissed off Burrow. As much as that pass interference call hurt them, so did his fumble. So he's got some making up to do, like what's his name, Barkley does for the Giants. So I'm going with the Bengals both ways. Now we go back to Thursday night, all the way back to Thursday night on Prime Video. The 1-1 Patriots are at the 1-1 Jets for their home opener.
Jets by 6.5.
Yeah, I think this is a tough spot for the Pats. Losing Bentley sure doesn't help. I think that they'll try to push the ball down the field. I don't have confidence that they're going to be able to do it. I think that'll be a close game, though, like these Thursday night divisional games usually are, except for last week when Miami got their doors blown off. But I'm going to go Jets for the win. I'll take the Patriots plus 6.5 to keep it close. I'll say Jets 21-16.
I'm taking the Jets both ways, 24-14.
I'm going to take the Jets, but low scoring, close game, rock fight style, 16-13 New York. But I actually don't mind the Patriots in this game. I'm not 100% sure Rodgers is Rodgers of old, and I don't hate the spot for the Patriots, but what I don't like is the short week and then the travel. You just lose so much time as the road team on these Thursday night games that I do worry about that.
Yeah, I see it a lot like Mike and Evan do. I have the Jets winning the game. I'm going to keep the Patriots within the spread, 20-16. If there was a little bit more that I've seen from Rodgers, I probably would lay the points, but I don't think the Jets offense has been anything special. Patriots offense obviously hasn't been anything special. So someone once told me if you see a trend, you should stick to the trend. And we've seen a pattern of the way the Patriots games have unfolded, and I think it'll be similar.
Yeah,
tomorrow night.
You know, I'm saying Jets 2017, but even then I'm a little worried that the Patriots can even muster 17. I think, we haven't seen anything from this offense yet that can kind of gives you hope that they're going to break out. This isn't going to be the game if they ever do with Jacoby in there. I also think that this is the first short week for this regime, and I think it makes a difference.
Yeah.
I think having that short week with the new coaching staff and everything kind of is a little bit more disruptive than it would have been otherwise. So you add up those things, and look, I think the Patriots are going to do well to keep it close. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the picks for this week. See if we can do better than last week. Evan and I are going to call it a day as far as the show goes. We're going to head over to the bus. Alex, Paul, and Deuce will bring you through the rest of the show. So right now, we'll take a break, and when we come back, you'll be lighter of two people. Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
So what's it like just going through the process of basically like doing heavy walkthroughs and mental reps?
No, it's not my first time doing this, but a lot of excitement going into the Thursday night game. Quick turnaround. All the players' energies was up, coaches' energies was up. So, we're excited for this opportunity. That's it.
Michael, is it hard to make corrections during a week like this?
I wouldn't say hard. I mean, it's just part of the NFL. Obviously you. Can you back that up a little bit? Obviously, you can't get all of the reps that you probably would want, but I think you get to walk through reps and you kind of, talk through a lot of things that happen throughout the game and, things that we were trying to do this game. So I think it's a little mixture of both.
Gerard Mayo said yesterday, I believe, that you guys really need to focus on pushing the ball down the field as an offense. Do you feel confident that there's going to be something different that you're able to do as an offense in this game against the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. Trying to get more guys involved for sure. Yeah.
How much more are you able to expand the playbook with such a short week to work with in game plan?
I don't think it's that hard. I think we got stuff in that can accomplish all of those goals. So I don't think it's that hard.
With Gerard literally being a former player as your coach, the schedule with a 6 o'clock practice, giving you guys more rest, that was a point of emphasis from him.
Yeah,
have you
for
ever
sure.
experienced anything like this before?
I think 1 year, I think my rookie year, we kind of practiced at a later time. My first game starting actually, now that I recall it, but I think that was the only time, and then other times it was kind of more rest on the front end, but on the back end. But I like it. I mean, you're out here when you're probably warming up right now for the game, right? So.
Jacoby, there's been some moving parts on the offensive line, and we're caught in some vulnerable spots there on Sunday. Do you ever get concerned with the volume you're getting hit at?
Nah, man, I'm big enough. I can take it. I'm a grown man. I can take a couple hits.
Where have you seen the most growth just in the first 2 weeks of the season as you guys head into this game?
Yeah, I think, obviously our run game is getting better each and every week. From week 1 to week 2, they did a lot of things to try to stop the run, and we still were able to execute that. Hunter obviously had a big day Sunday, but obviously we're still trying to learn our identity, still trying to get better and get more guys involved for sure. And I think we're excited about this opportunity to do that.
You guys have one trip to the primetime stage so far this year. So I mean, how special is that opportunity? How big is it?
Yeah, it's cool, man. As a kid, you dream of these moments playing on Thursday night, Monday night, and Sunday night, and this is our opportunity to make the most of it. So I feel everybody's excited about that.
Jacoby, is there any emphasis at all at getting the ball out quicker on offense?
Well, she just asked to. Yeah, never mind. But let me hide this before y'all take pictures of that. But it's a mixture of a lot of different things. So yeah.
Is there more of an emphasis in getting certain guys involved this week?
Of course, we want to get everybody involved, so I think that's the plan, is to try to spread the wealth a little bit more this week.
I think it was, 3 catches by receivers and probably not the kind of sustainable offense you guys are looking for, right?
Yeah, but we're 2 plays away from winning the game, and then everybody's like, oh, it was a great – Hunter had a great day, the growing game was good, and all of this and this, that, and the third. But, yeah, obviously we want to get more players involved. We want to spread the wealth for sure. So this game is the opportunity to do that.
It looked like you guys really got Antonio Gibson involved in the second half of that game in Seattle. What kind of different wrinkle does he add to your running game? There's so much focus on Ramondre.
Yeah, he was explosive. He made a lot of good plays with the ball in his hand, and definitely adds another element to this offense with the ability that he has in the run game and the pass game. So, excited to get him going.
What's the scouting report on the Jets defense?
A defense that's been in this defense for a long time. A lot of good players. Coach really well. Play fast, play hard, physical defense. So, we got a good test for us, but I think we'll be up for it.
Does the competitor in you love these kind of opportunities of just going head to head? Well, obviously you're not going to face Aaron Rodgers yourself, but just battle with quarterbacks like that.
Yeah, I don't get into that type of match. I just go out there and just try to play good football.
Pup Douglas expressed some frustration to us the other day about him not getting targeted. Do you talk with him at all? After just as a veteran, do you take the young guys?
Yeah, of course. I'm the quarterback. Got to talk to him for sure. But it's a good thing that he's frustrated. You want players that want the ball. It would be a crime if he didn't. So I understood his frustration. But yeah.
How big of a blow is this to the team if Juwan isn't able to go for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's tough, man. He's one of our leaders for sure. We all of us are pulling for him, and he's a big part of this team, and he still will be no matter his circumstances. I'm not sure on his health and stuff like that. I don't speak on other people like that, but it was tough to see him go out of the game. I know how much he means to not only this team but to this defense, and now it's just a matter of the next guy stepping up to help him out.
As a quarterback, what is the respect level for the Jets defense and some of the playmakers they have there in the back end?
The utmost. Those guys are, Pro Bowlers and all pros for a reason. They're playing really good football at a very high level. So, like I said, we got a good test up Thursday, but we'll be up for it.
Thank you.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like my plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
And now, great moments in history.
I watched the post game, a little bit. Thought the network struggled
Yes.
in that regard.
Yeah, the trophy presentation
Yeah.
left a little bit to be desired for me.
Yeah, which
Gets
that was
awkward.
unfortunate.
It was
but
awkward.
I watched some of that, and then some of the interviews. All the players. I kind of heard from each of the, the 6 main players, and then I was like, okay, that's enough. And these two were up on Twitter.
Well,
can't get enough.
I'll tell you something a little embarrassing. I had on
More than that?
Yes, I promise it's worse. I had on like a clay face mask, doing your skincare at night.
Oh, okay.
It's a girl thing. But I started tearing up a little bit with the Deuce stuff. Like the little moment
not
they
you,
had.
Deuce. Not
what
you.
I do.
Little Deuce Tatum. I don't know, just like, and then hearing people talk about like Tommy. I don't know. I'm emotional. It might be that time of month, but whatever. That's another story.
That's another great moment from
All right, we're back here on Patriots Unfiltered with the 3 non-travelers. We don't travel.
Three amigos.
We're the specials.
No, we don't get to ride on the plane or get any of the perks that come with that, but that's all right. That's how I like it, right? You like traveling? You miss it at all?
I like traveling to Miami.
So
Yeah.
I miss Saturday night on the road. That's it. I don't miss anything else about traveling.
Why? What do you guys do Saturday night?
Well, we used to go out Saturday nights on the road.
Light up the
Drinking?
town.
Yeah. Well,
Some food, some dinner, some drinks.
Some brews?
See, when you're a little like you just mentioned Miami, the
Yeah,
Miami
I
trip,
did.
Alex. So you go out and you're young enough. You're out. You're hitting the town, and you do. I got to a place in my life where that stuff was no longer all that interesting to me. So it was Wick and Andy Hart, Paul Perillo, and Fred Kirsch. Get some buffalo wings,
Nice dinner.
some Miller Lights,
Call it a night.
and be back in bed by like 10 o'clock. What could be better?
Oh, old guys, let's give it up. I think
We're a lot more alike than you realize.
Well, that's how Lazar is, and Lazar isn't that. I mean, he's younger than us, but he said the same thing because there's a big crew of the socials, and everybody wants to go out, and Evan's already like.
So
"Oh,
if I
man,
told you all
I
the
know
years
it's
that we
coming."
went to Jets games and Giants games, because we go to the Giants every other year in the
Yeah.
preseason back then, never once did I go in the city with that crew.
No,
Not once.
Oh, that's a big ask. I'd be afraid. Get mugged. Big
Yeah.
city. What city?
You'd be
do
afraid to go out in the city?
I'm just kidding. No, but I don't love big cities.
Where did you grow
I didn't
up? Like
grow up-
rural
Holliston.
Iowa
No,
or something?
Rural Massachusetts, but mostly. Maybe not as rural as
You
you.
grew
Although
up
you're
like a half
rural.
hour out of Boston.
Rural. I know. Does that count? I don't know. Because you're kind of in a city, though, right? Like you're Springfield.
Yeah, I think people's conception of Western Mass is ruined
is.
by
It
the
is.
drive out to UMass, where you go through North Central Mass, and people think North Central Mass is the Pioneer Valley, and it's
there's
not
nothing
at all.
there. We know this.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Pioneer Valley ain't that bad. It's pretty cool.
Ain't that bad.
The Berkshires, lovely. But yeah, I think
you
Western.
should work for the Chamber of Commerce. It's not. It ain't that bad.
Hey, what are they paying?
This Big E
I'm
thing.
interested.
And hearing
Oh, yeah,
about
Big
the
E
Big
thing,
E.
you're
The Big E going on. I don't know. We were looking for something to do this weekend, so that was on the table. Maybe that. or
Mike.
I'll be
Mo-
honest,
Manhattan
I don't
The
know
Red
if I would
Zone.
go.
I know.
Don't go on a Saturday or
Saturday.
Sunday.
Oh, really?
I live near the Big E. I can't leave my house. It once
Yeah.
took me 2 hours. I was less than a mile
I
from
never
my
even
house
heard
to
of
get
it.
home.
I never even heard of it until a couple days ago. I guess
Really?
that's an Eastern Mass thing for us. I don't know. No, yeah, never.
Never heard of it though.
No, like what is the history?
How about the
It's
fairs?
like the big Massachusetts State Fair. There's
I should know about
concerts.
that.
It goes on for like a month.
sorry.
My first concert, fun fact, Jessica Simpson at the Big E.
Oh,
It goes on for a month. I didn't realize it. went
Yeah,
that
like
long.
well, it might not be an exact month, and it might be more than a month. I don't know. I was never a
Who knows
huge
for sure?
Big E goer.
Forget what I
as a
said about the
kid,
Chamber of Commerce.
But yeah. But I go.
little-
It's fun.
Little Massachusetts fun talk there, but guys, there are a couple Patriots news nuggets to talk about maybe here while Fred and Evan get in line for the bus to the.
Well, Fred still tries to figure out the difference of 3 in terms of a point spread.
I think he does that on purpose. I might be wrong, maybe, but I think he's playing that
You
up
know
a little
what,
bit.
Mike?
Might be
I
disingenuous.
think you might be right.
Maybe.
It's a
maybe.
shtick.
But to start, our friend Jaylen Reagor
Yeah.
released yesterday from the practice squad, and
Won't be seeing him no more.
to set the table, though, I thought he had a good summer. Like, I honestly thought, like, he was a lock. And all of a sudden, Thornton kind of came on at the end, and but I still thought he was going to make the team. I mean, I thought Booty was the question mark, and I think it's obvious he wasn't happy being on the practice squad. Then he posted, what was it? What kind of car was that?
He posted a
meme?
picture of a Bugatti at a trailer park.
And that's you would. I'm going to lean on you here, Alex.
Yeah.
That's like a common meme.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen that meme
Okay,
before.
because I've been told.
It probably
Being
is
told
common.
That's common.
I don't know if it's a real photo or if that was photoshopped, because the idea of an actual Bugatti
Yeah.
being in a trailer park
I
is
would assume it's
really
sort of.
What
funny,
was it,
but-
like a 2018 Bugatti that's got some miles on it and had to get
like
like
a
some
drug.
tires
It was a
changed
drug
around
dealer
it?
Bugatti that
Drug
you
dealer.
buy the Bugatti when
Well,
it's at like 400,000 miles.
That's
and
the Jaylen Reagor Bugatti, right? Like we
So he
bought it.
did-
It
Well,
looked great when we
like,
got it.
and
but
that's the thing, is he just like a great practice player,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Was he a practice player of the week the first week? Did he get that? I don't know.
Was he one of them? I thought it was.
Like-
Was it?
thought
I
it
don't
was-
know. I don't know.
I thought it was
remember.
Booty.
I heard. Yeah, you're right.
But you might be right. It might have been
Uh,
Booty and Reagor.
Yeah. So,
Um,
yeah, he don't work here no more. I don't know. I
By the way, I was told that he sort of asked to be
Yeah.
released. It wasn't cause and effect necessarily. Like I expressed my discontent on Instagram, and they subsequently released me.
Yeah.
Right,
I
that
think that's
was-
what he kind of
That's
wanted.
what I saw. Someone was like, he didn't get released because of the Instagram post. He had already made it very clear his feelings behind the Instagram post before he posted it.
Right.
So
And the only thing I would say is, like, you're on the practice squad. You're sort of free to get signed by anybody, as it was. But I know some teams, I think, try not to do that. They don't want to poach other teams' practice squads. So
like a courtesy thing.
yeah.
it's
I think it's a little less of that with the expansion of the practice squad and the
Mhm.
influx of veteran players
Right.
available.
It's just the message it sends. Like, if teams are like, you can't make the Patriots squad, like, why would you? Why would we want to bring you to our squad? I mean, it's kind of an indictment on him. But
And he did make the roster, remember,
for like
initially.
a minute, right? Like a minute.
And then when
he
they
was-
claimed all those players, they needed to release veterans, and he was one of them. Him, Michael Jordan.
So 3 teams now. I think that's for him. First round pick. Just happens with these guys. Even if we had some talent, had that kick return last year against Buffalo. I thought that we were talking a lot this summer about that being, maybe something in his favor. But again, I was still surprised generally. I thought he was one of their better players in camp, more consistent players in camp, especially on the outside. And
I just think they have, and I get what your point is totally, Mike. And if they had kept him, I certainly wouldn't be pounding the table saying, how could you keep him and not X?
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I think
they're all the
on
same to me.
Yeah, on the same page of at least leaning into the young guys. And if you're gonna roll and choose, let's give Tyquan Thornton a chance. Let's not get through this season without knowing. Let's see what Keyshawn Booty. Maybe he'll get a chance at some point. But I mean, it seems like now with Baker playing last week that maybe even Booty's kind of on notice.
And someone else is going to go when Kendrick Bourne
Right.
comes off PUP.
That's
if
just looming.
/when. But I think that's probably coming soon. I've been hearing a lot around Halloween.
I think I mean
Someone's got to go.
Yeah, and I think it might be a good little boost for them. I just curious what the state of the passing offense is going to be. But I think just to get Bourne's energy back on the team and
back in
get
the
him
locker room,
involved
too.
and make him a little bit, especially where you just lost Juwan Bentley, who was a leader, which that's a tough blow.
And there's just not a lot of, you have Andrews, Hunter, but Kendrick's just like a leadership presence. I think they really need on offense, and just a good energy guy.
Spark.
You just want to
Spark
be
to the
around.
pass.
him,
I think the energy is
Yeah.
the word that every
Yeah.
time I see Kendrick Bourne, that's the first
Biggest
word that
smile
comes
on
to
his
mind.
face ever.
Energy.
Always. Andrew Anelli just chimes in. The Bugatti trailer park meme is common meme used on social media to represent talent in a bad situation. Unfortunately, on Reagor's Carfax, there's about 3 previous owners, and it's a salvage
Not the
title.
Carfax. That's the thing. Like, you're a first round
Good,
pick.
Andrew.
Like,
Good.
it's not like teams aren't doing their due diligence. Like, we took a flyer on him. I'm glad we did. But like, you're a first round pick and you're bouncing around the league like you
Mhm.
have. Like, maybe
He's been a disappointment.
Yeah. Happens more than you would think, I mean,
Yeah.
It happens at other positions more than you would think. You
Yeah.
can say it out loud,
Yeah.
Mike, for
Oh,
the
oh,
quarterback
other
haters
quarterback.
out there. It happens at all positions more than you think. But and just to clarify, I think we all knew what it meant. I just, it was like people have said that's a very, I'm not up on all my memes,
There's so many.
I'm just
How
getting
could you be?
comfortable.
There's a million of them,
Yeah.
and the only ones that I get over and over again are all like sports related / Patriots related, like Bill
now you
sipping
got
the
a
orange juice.
new one in your
you know?
lexicon.
I'm just getting comfortable saying the word meme. Like for the longest time, they're like,
Mem.
those are memes, and I'm like, meme?
Meme?
I don't want to say
Meme?
meme.
Meme.
But now it's like part of the culture,
No,
part of the
it's
lexicon.
meme.
It really is.
Meme.
It's meme.
Like meme? I got a meme.
They
that.
added it to the dictionary like 10 years ago. Shout out
Nothing
Merriam-Webster.
Nothing gets by Mike.
No, I don't. Well, I'm not a memer.
So,
Although,
but this is why we have like Alex and Tamara.
I know,
This is
the-
why
the-
we
the
have
young
the
folks.
youngins in our lives.
would the 28-3 scoreboard thing, is that a meme?
You kind of invented a meme.
It's all right. I guess I have to be able
Was
I
to.
that
saw
just-
a lot of those shirts
Was
last
that the
week,
long road
too.
to grandma's house just to give yourself a pat in the back?
Probably not, but maybe. Let's read this email here from Nate from northeastern Pennsylvania, because No Socks, our friend, he sent this email during pregame social last Sunday, but Matt Smith must have been too humble to read it. I have legitimately nothing Patriots related to discuss or ask you guys about. I just wanted to email him to say that Matty No Socks has the most quintessential Boston accent. Doing great at host Matt. Go Pats. So there you go, little positive feedback from Matt.
Do you think the Boston accent comment's gonna stick in it?
He's gonna try to tone it down a little bit. I don't know. We love Matt. We're
Car,
back.
car, yard. He's gonna like practice.
He's
now.
more quintessential Boston in other ways, I would say, than just the accent for sure. But you have to watch an away game with him to fully understand that.
That's the quintessential Boston experience. He thinks they're gonna lose every play.
You could have a camera on him, I think, in our little section of the office, that little hallway outside your office, outside of where Deuce and I sit. Like that, there could be a reality TV show.
You
in
will
and
do
of
no
itself.
such thing to me, by the way.
I know
No,
you would be
that's-
implicated, but your little powwows are pretty funny.
I kind of feel this one from Johnny in Madtown. Just saying, miss Alex and the men. I miss having offense. And I kind of send this to you, Paul. I miss getting excited for Sundays. I sincerely miss having a competent passing game. I'm not asking for the 07-08 Patriots, but can I at least get the 2021 Patriots at 10-6 with Mac Jones at a minimum? They can't field a passing game and don't want to. My question is why. It's frustrating. I mean, I've said it before. I feel like the last 3 seasons, I don't know what a good passing game looks like anymore because it's been such a grind for all these teams going back to 2022.
Yeah, it's there should be something in between, those high-powered offenses and what we've seen since since Brady left. They haven't had a good offense since Brady left.
Yeah.
And it can't just be as simple as the quarterback play isn't up to par. A lot of other things have deteriorated around it, not the least of which is the pass protection. So now you start to wonder, well, how much was Brady responsible for the pass protection?
Getting the ball out quick.
Getting the ball out quick, knowing where the pressure was coming from, knowing how to get out of bad situations, pre-snap, whatnot.
I think there's a lot more if you're an offensive lineman too, just like playing in front of Tom Brady. Like,
yeah,
what does that make you play up to? You know what I mean? Like,
that's a great point. Honestly,
you don't want to get chewed out by Tom Brady, certainly.
It's something I was thinking about last night, and I don't mean this as a shot at the current Patriots.
Yeah, not that anyone
room.
wants Jacoby to get hurt or
Well, I
doesn't
just
play as
mean
well, but
the feel when I was first in the locker room in 2019, and even then, it's probably. I mean, you could speak more to this than I can. Like, you just felt the championship drive in that locker room, and you felt the seriousness of it and the impact of losses. And we've only seen 2 of these games, and I haven't seen anything bad in the locker room that makes me think like, but it's definitely different, and you don't have that expectation. It feels like hanging over you. I know Brady and McGinnis talked a lot in the past about how those guys would all push each other to do extra. Are you leaving early? It's a race to get in early.
Yep.
My thought is, how do you reestablish that championship culture without winning a championship? Where, Willie McGinnis seems like, I always credit him as maybe kind of the thought leader of that whole kind of establishing higher expectations of the organization than guys might be expecting of themselves and holding people accountable. And it's just, how do you, unless you get, is it the special players? Is it a couple special seasons together with the same groups and you start to, feel like that's the way that the team is? Or, I have trouble putting my finger on it, but I definitely feel the difference between that 2019 locker room, obviously coming off a Super Bowl, and, like Edelman. Edelman is a guy that you just felt it. Like, you felt the tension. You felt how bad they wanted to win. And we're all kind of at a mind now of, like, it doesn't really matter how many they win this year, and I don't want to put that on them and say that they don't care. They definitely do care, but it's just a lot different. And you got to get back to that if you want to be a consistent contender. And is it like that in Kansas City right now? Is it guys like Chris Jones are holding everyone to a higher standard? And, like you said, Alex, the offensive line, they come in with a rookie playing left tackle, and he knows he's blocking for Patrick Mahomes, and he's got Joe Tooney next to him. So it all feeds together, right? Like, so many, we try to pin things down to one thing, and it's always multiple things, but that's just one that, how do you get there? How do you get back to that?
Well, you can resign so you can go back to winning. For
It's
starters,
my fault. That's true. That's true. What's wrong with the passing game? It's
in all seriousness, I do wonder, because I haven't been in post-game locker rooms in a long time since we started doing the pre and post-game shows. Obviously, we come in, we do the show immediately after the game, and I would be curious to see what the environment is like compared to what you're talking about. Have they sort of accepted losing? Is it? There were times when you go in a post-game lock. Now, they never lost. 12-4 was sort of the norm, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't have a lot of losing locker rooms, certainly not here. But I do wonder, you'd go in and it'd be, like a morgue. And I just wonder if it's the same now, or if it's just kind of, there's a resignation a little bit.
And I wonder, too, if this generation of football player cares that same way.
So you want me to scream at the clouds?
Yeah, old man.
Old man?
Yeah.
Right?
No, but
so
you want me to do it? I'm going to do it. I'll do it.
I can't lie. And I'm not telling you it's a huge deal, because I'm not that old school, this is the only way to do it. But I think about it almost every time I watch a post-game situation on the field, in all sports, by the way. This is not a football-only observation. I'm always struck with how quickly these guys can put a smile on their faces and find the guys on the other team. I was watching the end of the Philly-Atlanta game the other night. That was a gutting loss for the Eagles. They had no business losing that game. Yeah. And I'm sure there were plenty of Eagles that were pissed off. This is what I'm saying. I'm not suggesting that you have to go and be pouting off the field and right into the locker room to show, quote, you care. That's not how you show you care. But I am always taken aback by the smiles on the faces and the hugs for the opponent immediately after the game, every sport in this day and age. I don't think, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson loved each other. They loved to compete against each other and beat each other. You didn't have that, we're going to hug and, be all smiley after the game.
Yeah.
The way they do now. And I'm not telling you it's wrong now the way they do it. I'm just telling you it's striking to me how quickly they turn the page. And I wonder if it means as much.
I felt like Burrow last week.
Burrow was pissed.
He was pissed.
Burrow was pissed after that game.
Yeah, they needed it.
Did you see he was pissed at Jamar Chase? Did you see that?
Yeah.
When Chase got the penalty for arguing with the ref for 10 minutes. And Chase, Burrow must have taken him out of there 3 times. And finally he turned around and he was like, enough. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I know they're close and played in college together, but I really would love to hear Joe Burrow's unfiltered thoughts about just all this drama happening with Chase holding out and just not playing. I don't know if I'm on the Bengals and I'm Joe Burrow and you're really one of those teams that's right on the cusp and I see only a second-year receiver kind of acting like that, I'm just what are you doing?
No, Chase is older than that. This is
already.
This is
fourth season.
His 4th year. Yeah.
Well, still, you're still a young, exciting receiver in this league. You guys are right on the cusp. I don't know. For me, I'm just let's see the bigger picture.
You know what the hard thing is there for him? He just got his.
Yeah.
He got his contract. How can I say no, you need to be here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it is hard. I know what your point is.
And you're
do
on
you
the
want to
cusp.
win a
You're on the
Super Bowl?
cusp.
You're right on the cusp, or do you want to get paid right now?
Yeah.
You're gonna get paid eventually. You're gonna get money eventually. Why not just be hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to do things for the greater good of the collective, and it's just where are your priorities? Do you want to win Super Bowls, or do you just want to create generational wealth for yourself? Because you're probably gonna do that anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a Super Bowl or no? When it's all said and done, will you be upset you didn't have a couple more $1 million that one year? Or are you going to be upset you never won a Super Bowl?
You win a title, you'll make it up. But that's, to me, being on the cusp and feeling like you have all the pieces, and it's feels like whack-a-mole right now with them, whether it's contract holdouts or, guys getting hurt at the wrong time.
Yeah.
It just that it's one thing to be like a team with the Patriots, they're trying to rebuild.
Right,
But to
no.
be a team that has the pieces and to know that the clock is kind of ticking on
They've been in
keeping
that
it together
big game and
trying to find that
yeah.
right moment. It's I mean, I get why it's frustrating.
I think it kind of like it closes the loop on what I was just talking about with the reactions on the field, and how happy everybody looks after the
Yeah.
game. I think you'd be surprised to find out how few guys have the mentality that Alex just explained about, like, you're so close to a Super Bowl. And I'm not telling you these guys don't want to win. They all want to win. But it's not the thing for all of them. Like, they want to win, but they want to get theirs too. And if they don't win, they'd rather get theirs than win. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that the college system feeds into that a little bit, where guys don't feel as committed to a team? They feel like, well, if it's not working here, I'm going to go somewhere else. And really, it seems like for star players, it's more about the individual than it is the team. I know Tom Brady had a thing about.
I think it even starts in high
think
school.
that.
I think it even goes back to high school for these guys playing at this level.
I've talked
you
about
see it in every sport,
the
basketball
club sport
too.
thing.
Yeah.
I think is really, you see it even. My kids never played club sports at a level that they're playing in these, 4 and 5 star camps that they're getting recruited at. There was, Division III colleges around, maybe, was the highest level. So I can only imagine how much more magnified it is, at the elite level. When you have nothing go right for you, you just go, well, that's okay. And they call them program jumpers.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play for the Blizzard this year. I'm going to play for the Mass Elite next year. I'm going to play for the Boston Shamrocks after that. And then if it doesn't work out, I'll just go to East Elite. I'll find, North Shore Sports Academy. There's
There's
many
no
different
self-growth.
programs.
You're just jumping.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm on the search to find out where I can play the most.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
And that happens 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, middle school, high school. So how do you think you're going to college?
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's a small forward that's better than me? I got to come off the bench? Peace.
Yeah.
I'll go find a school. There's 360 of them that play Division I basketball. I'll find a school that I can start at.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go to change the program. You watch games now, it's unbelievable. Mike Dussault began his career at Holy Cross, and he transferred, of course, to UNLV, and now here he is at Kansas State. Every single player they talk about has at least 2, more often than not, 3 schools on his resume.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can't be good for a team-first mentality moving into the pros, right?
And it's just all the emphasis too on just like that instant gratification note. Like, I don't even know if they can comprehend the bigger picture here. Where I look at a guy like Danny Amendola. If they don't win those Super Bowls with the Patriots,
not on
is
Dancing
Danny
with the
Amendola
Stars.
on Dancing with the Stars right now?
No
Like,
way.
they're stretching out their relevance as long as they can. Edelman too. But if they don't win those Super Bowls, no one gives an F who the hell, what Amendola's up to now or what Edelman's up to.
Yeah.
But as a result of those Super Bowls, they're still relevant somehow. They're
Their
still, those checks are still coming in. They're doing the media
But
stuff.
I would probably, I'll go back to finish it with Chase. My guess is that a guy like Jamar Chase would say, that's great. I don't want to be on Dancing with the Stars to make my millions. I want my millions now because
Yeah.
I'm dominating the league now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I
Right.
want what Justin Jefferson got. My good friend Justin Jefferson that I played at LSU with just got $35 million a year. I want that.
Yeah. And if they're not going to give it to me, then
Someone else
maybe
will.
I'll go somewhere
and he's
else.
right. Someone else will.
Yep.
If Mike Brown doesn't give it to him, believe me, he will not be. He will not be. Brian Morey sent me.
Oh yeah.
What if we send like a 26 first round pick and it's like why is Cincinnati waiting till 26?
Right.
Yeah.
Comparison.
Crazy.
FIFA joy.
I'm going to read this one from Dublin. Kevin from Dublin. Mike Reese had some comments yesterday a little bit about Bill Belichick. I thought that I saw some people getting upset about, but question is, when will Belichick be called out? Plenty of people say Belichick is calculating. That's nothing new, but I could not believe how transparent he was being on the segment with Tom Brady on his The Coach segment, where he was criticizing just the franchises with whom he may have some personal gripe, and then praising the Lions and attributing a lot of their success to Matt Patricia. It's becoming so obvious that I wonder if braver souls among the national media might call it out at some point. Thanks, Kevin.
Oh, it's been a huge topic of conversation locally, and to Alex's point about our little show
Paul
that
and
we
Matt
had,
reality
the show
show?
within the show.
That's a common topic.
that was a big one today. In our offices, it was embarrassing. The emailer is dead on. Listen, I'm not telling you what opinion you should have, and you want to espouse an opinion, but can you at least make an effort to try to put forth some form of legitimacy, some objectivity?
Yeah.
What are you? I mean, there's like 4 or 5 different things that happen because let's face it, Belichick has like 9 gigs now. What are some of the teams you think are the best run organizations? Now, do you think there's a lot of people that would come out? And Brady prefaced that question by saying other than Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
So I know everybody would say Kansas City, but do you think Dallas would be front of mind to a lot of people in that?
Unless you love Jerry Jones.
How about Philly? Dallas, Philly, 1-2. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Yeah. Are those the 2 teams that have ready-made, rosters ready to make a Super Bowl run that might be looking for coaches next year?
Yeah.
And then he starts talking about Detroit and all the things that they've done, and he somehow tries to give credit to Matt Patricia, who burnt the whole organization to the ground.
Because he hired the offensive coordinator, right?
And they're seeing the fruits of their labor now. But he didn't hire the offensive coordinator as offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
he didn't even hire the line coach as the line coach. He was the assistant line coach.
So they kept those guys around.
So it's just embarrassingly transparent. He's ripping the Falcons at every turn. He's ripping the Patriots this week, not last week when they won, and he was asked about the Patriots, and he answered a question about the Falcons when Mike Lombardi teed him up about, teams that, played good, sound football, mistake-free football, and found a way to win games. He skips over the answer to the Patriots and talks about how Atlanta couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Now, this week, the Patriots make some mistakes in coaching. Mayo obviously botched the clock at the end of that. He was more than willing to jump in on that.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
This is the greatest coach that's ever coached. And he is the pettiest man of all time.
I mean, Mike Reese had some comments, similar lines of establishing at least some, and I mean, a lot of the fans are clapping back like he doesn't owe us anything, but
he doesn't owe anything.
He doesn't, but the
but
fact
you,
that
but
this
you
team
should,
was terrible the last couple
you
years.
should be the
is-
truth.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you
And
think the truth should be
right.
should
And
be
it's-
owed?
And no matter
or
how
assumed?
and no matter how it ended here, put on a brave face. Gerard Mayo's a kid you drafted, and I'm sure that you have all kinds of issues with how all that went down, but is it that hard to just say, Gerard's a first-time coach, I support anything, just a bone?
See, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need him to tell me anything good about what's going on with the Patriots. He has a grudge. He feels like he was wronged. Fine.
Yeah.
So after they won, you chose to take the high road. But when they lost, you broke your own rule 1 week later. Like, that to me is the part that I don't have any use for. If you said in week 1, A, B, and C were good, and then in week 2, A, B, and C are bad, I have no problem with that. But you're only going to point out the bad because you're a petty little man.
Yeah, let's staying on Belichick from Eduardo.
That's the part of the show,
writing
right?
in. Do you guys now fully believe that Bill didn't want a diva receiver like Chase because he knew a situation like the Bengals would happen? If so, do you believe he was right about it? I get Chase is elite, but is the drama worth it?
No, you pay him. Then you don't have the drama.
Right.
Like, good players cost money. Like, no, I don't think Bill was right. When you have Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, like, you can get away with those things. Like, most teams don't have the luxury of saying, no, we don't need good players because we have a great player at the only position that matters. Most teams don't have that.
The thing that was weird to me, I watched, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, the coach episode, and he spent so much time talking about what a game changer CD Lamb is and how the first thing you've got to do when you're playing them is find that guy.
Why?
Because he's
Who's
a
he
game
play
changer.
for?
Oh, that's right. But still, but even if he was, doing that thing, it's still just an obvious fact that right now in the NFL, if you don't have that player, all these teams are struggling. I mean, Bryce Young, everyone's crying about that. It just seems like if you have a young quarterback, you have to try to figure out a way to find that guy one way or another. And, but that never seemed to be on the menu when he was here.
Let me ask you guys, what would you describe Rob Gronkowski?
Greatest tight end.
No, but like in
Oh,
terms
kind of
of
a
this kind of
goofball?
stuff, like
Think that what you mean?
high maintenance.
Yeah, maybe.
A bit of a
Maybe.
diva.
Maybe a little bit.
You know, kind of
Got
had
a
his
little-
own rules a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Rules
would-
get bent for great players.
Correct. Correct. He I don't really see a whole lot of difference. He bitched about his contract. He bitched when he wasn't getting it and he wanted out. Bitched about the way he was being told he needed to work out toward the end, if you recall. Diva. And I don't say that in a negative way. Great players have different rules.
Yeah.
They were very lucky that they had Tom Brady, who got in line for the vast majority of his 20-year career.
And then was able to help Bill keep everyone else in line.
Right. Now, if he decided that the way he did at the end, when he I'm going to use the word finally, woke up and realized he was being sort of manipulated, and abused is not the right word, but, taken advantage of, I think is. And then he said, well, no, I'm not going to sign for that. And you remember, Mike, this is, again, I blame it all on Mike, because when Mike got here, this is when
No
everything
playoff
just
wins?
fell apart.
Never even seen a playoff
Where
win.
were we?
Never, not once.
Where were we, Mike?
When?
Which
The
which
last
one?
one?
We were either in Detroit or Nashville.
Oh,
for-
Nashville.
for-
I didn't go to Detroit, so Nashville. Yeah.
Okay, so we're in that. You didn't go to Detroit?
No, I just started that week.
So we were in Nashville, and what did Brady say? Go ask Mr. Kraft.
Oh, yeah.
He had finally had enough.
Yeah.
That could have happened in 2008 or 2006.
Yeah.
The Patriots were very lucky that it didn't happen until it did.
I just blocked everything out from that trip except Derrick Henry, so that's why I was like, what else? What else
Well,
was
I
there?
blocked
That and
everything
Dan
out.
Skipper throwing up.
I
From the
blocked
Heat.
out everything but your karaoke performance.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about that.
Yes, Nashville.
Colin for Seattle's got a good one though.
See, I
Paul.
used to be fun.
What was your go-to karaoke song?
For me?
Yeah.
I didn't really have one, but
I did bust a move. Just that's
like a virgin.
to my
if,
way.
if we're going back to college.
Okay.
It's just totally out of key, butchering it, but it's.
No,
funny.
I was with a couple other baseball
All right,
players.
all right, yeah. So you had a harmony going, 3-part harmony there.
I wouldn't say that.
Colin Seattle, what bothers you more, the aforementioned pettiness from Bill at nearly every turn, or the outcry from those like McAfee and his ilk who cream their pants every time he mentions anything about football?
That's tiresome too, but I understand why. At least like McAfee was like, I mean, I'll sacrifice my integrity. I'm getting him on the show. That's good for me, But yes, that was the most predictable thing out of all of this, is that whatever Bill said was going to be taken. Oh, do you ever go to like Twitter on Monday nights?
I try not to.
Belichick dropping the knowledge. Like what? Like, you should play like too high safety or some other thing that everybody else is saying. Like they show a play of Barkley going out of the backfield and the Falcons guy hits him and knocks him down.
Yeah.
Well, it's because
I
he
know
knocked
this
him
one.
on his ass. Oh, did you hear Belichick? Oh, I could listen,
like the
I could
stuff
listen to Bill
personally.
all day.
Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, McCourty talking about Bill predicting the wind patterns
Now
and
that
stuff.
now that was different.
That was kind of cool.
That was different. I
kinda cool.
agree.
Right.
That was kind of like, holy crap,
Like,
but not like, oh,
he's
I
a
mean,
better
when a back is
meteorologist
coming
than
out of the
other
backfield, you try to hit him,
meteorologists.
like that. This is like this is breaking news.
I think he's overworked right now, Bills. He's just got too much. Like he's got commercials. It's just everywhere you turn.
Did you hear the thing that McCourty talked about that Alex just
I
said?
did. I saw that.
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah. Then they had the clip, I think, too. At least somebody who had put the video together showed, that. I mean, for the people listening who didn't hear it, I think Bill said to him, the way the wind swirls in Gillette Stadium, if you're going down the sideline, the ball and it's coming deep. It's gonna look like it's going deep, but it's gonna die once it hits the wind. So stay underneath, and you'll get the pick. And
Keep your head turned.
Yeah, probably no longer the case with the scoreboard. I remember when Bill was still here and the scoreboard
and the
was being
questions,
built.
like,
He
all
was
year.
so pissed about
Right.
it. You could just tell. He was like, I've, for 20 years, been studying the wind patterns at Gillette Stadium. Now I got to start from scratch.
Just get Ernie to fire up the wind machine. Let's hop over to the phones here real quick. Kevin's in South Carolina. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good. Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate it. Got 2 points first and foremost. Central Massachusetts has the Big E. It's an exposition, y'all. Very important for the country kids.
There we go.
Alex, I'm with you. First point, we may be Minutemen. As a former and current student, we may be Minutemen. At least we get so. Am I right?
I'm sorry, the way this... Did you guys know what he said?
I think he's saying something about Minuteman. Sorry,
I
Kevin,
know
you
you're
broke
talking
up a little
I think
bit
you're
there.
talking about UMass, but it's just hard to hear you.
I apologize. I'm trying to make a joke.
Oh, Kevin,
That's
I
the
don't
worst,
think it's
Kevin.
you. I
We're
think it's our
sorry.
new speaker system.
Now
It's
we-
just hard to hear our
Yeah.
callers enunciating.
It's not great for humor when you can't hear
I
the person.
know. That's the
I'm sure it was a
worst.
good joke.
I'm sure it
Kev.
was a funny
What was your other
joke.
question, Kev?
I'm hilarious. I know it.
We
Don't
believe
worry
it.
about it.
I believe you.
Point 2. From outer space, looking down. If I was in an astronaut suit, looking down on the Patriots, am I upset that we're going to go 3-15 and we have a quarterback and a left tackle named after the Vader? And do you all feel bad about making reference to drafting a left tackle named Vader? Are we the evil empire? I look forward to your response. Thank you for a great show.
Oh my God, that is funny!
Thanks, Kevin. We have a Vader? Who's that? What? Look, I'm a Star Wars guy, but I
know.
Who's the
I was
Vader?
leaning
Dang
to
it.
you.
Kevin, right back in. I don't know. I'm not sure. I would love to have a Star Wars themed team, but may the Force be with you. I don't know what we got. I'm not. You didn't. Never mind. You saw the main movie in the theater once, and that was it. That was good for Paul. He's like, that's a nice movie.
It's good. Enjoyed it.
Didn't need to be
Good
part of the
film.
nerd.
Enjoyed it. Didn't change my
Me
life.
and morale. The whole time. Little joke here though. After seeing the other rookie QBs play for 2 weeks, I know super small sample size. Would you do a 1-for-1 trade for any of them, Daniels?
Oh, Caleb Williams, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it, though. I
Yeah.
liked May better than Jaden Daniels
Yeah.
coming out of college. I was on record as saying that. I still feel that way.
I think I said it to Evan, and this probably sounds stupid, but it's
And
like,
I wouldn't have taken Bo Nix until like the third or fourth round.
Right.
So
and this again, it's gonna sound, but like you can't really tell until you see a guy play in the NFL how they actually look. No matter how much you watch them, until they are against other NFL players, and you know, like Jaden Daniels always looks super fast to me, but I just didn't anticipate how good he is at getting the ball out quick, and just his like Garoppolo like, you know, getting it out, which didn't really jump out to me, and I think I might have liked him a little bit more had I seen that when I was first watching him. But I wanted May all along. I remember being at the owners meeting, getting into it with Tommy Curran, and I was just at that point I was like, I just want May. Like I just
did he
I think-
headbutt you?
Yeah, he was still thinking about it, I think, and then I ran away and
Probably
got a Mai Tai. And
Good move
jumped
by
away.
you. Good move by
But
you.
I just think May, it's the same thing. He's a good kid. He's got all the tools. We've talked about 100 times. It's never going to be an issue physically for him. It might be mentally. Maybe he's got, you know, physical things to clean up for sure, as all these guys do. But if you're going to take a raw lump of clay, and that's what we said when I got Mac, it was like I just looked at Herbert and Allen and these guys who are huge and big arm and can run when they have to, and you know, they have an understanding of the game, and he's still just 21, so I still really feel good about May, but like everybody, he's got to get in this year. We got to start that process of letting him take his lumps. You know, I want some lumps taken this year, so we don't have to think about all
I
the
thought that
lumps next
email
year.
was going to be more along the lines of, do you now think the Patriots are doing the right, you know, for those of you
Yeah.
that thought May should play right away, and I didn't necessarily think May should play right away. I wanted him to play right away, and I still want him to play. But do you think that the Patriots now, do you think of it differently? And my answer is no. Like, I have no illusions that when Drake May plays, he's probably not going to look like C.J. Stroud does now.
Yeah.
Like, that's rare. Like, most likely, he's either going to be mistake-prone or he's going to be asked to do what Brissett's doing right now and just keep the ball out of harm's way.
Yeah.
I hope he's mistake-prone and not doing the latter.
No,
because
that's what I was just about
that's
to.
the only way,
that's-
to me, you can get
you
any
took
better.
the words right out of my mouth, and that was, you know, one thing that I was just so impressed with him during the summer was that he's not afraid to take those shots. I mean, he's not afraid to throw the ball down the field. He did it a lot. I mean, especially to Javon Baker, who somehow continued to have his trust despite, you know, after a certain second or third week in camp, couldn't really catch that ball anymore. But there's
To me, it's just as much about the shorter stuff, too. Like, that's kind of covered. Like, he's kind of open. Like,
Yeah.
jamming in there. Like,
there was how many times we
I
were like,
knew-
that's close. you
I
know?
knew there was a reason, you know, and I talked about this. Brissett's got like the second best interception percentage during his time in the career to only Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think has a better touchdown percentage? Brissett or Mac Jones?
Oh, maybe Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mac Jones was another guy who didn't
Yeah.
force the ball in and do all those things. You need to make plays. Like, you can't just not make bad ones. You have to make great ones too in order to be good. And they don't. He doesn't make those risky throws.
And that's why we are kind of where we are right now, where he's not losing us the game, he's not winning us the game. So what does he need to do for us to just be like, okay, let's see it from Drake, because right now we're in this weird middle ground, this gray area where he's managing the game, he's doing everything you ask, but it's just like we just want it to be a little sexier.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just every time you hear about people that are open downfield, and it's like maybe like the fantasy land is that Drake May is exactly what they're going to need. You know, he's going to be able to hold the, you know, I think your point about the short passes, though, that's the thing. It's like, can he hit that stuff in rhythm? Is he, you know, going to shy away from Pop Douglas?
Yeah,
but
they
he's
haven't.
Throw it
They
downfield.
haven't even called any real shots.
Yeah.
I think they've had one in each game. But to me, there has to have been more opportunities to hit a crossing route or throwing out where the guy's kind of open. You know, just got to let it rip.
Yeah.
Down, you know, get one down the seam. Even maybe over the
some of
linebackers
those.
in front of the safeties. You know,
it's pretty
tough throws. There was one in one of the first throws of the game against Cincinnati. I thought he had Austin Hooper.
Yeah,
maybe the first third down. It was kind of like an over route, you know, toward the sideline.
Hooper wasn't watching
it. Hooper was driving the boat at the time.
Wasn't he watching it?
But it just kind of fell into a safe area. We used to play bubble football here at all. Again, we used to have all kinds of fun when Mike wasn't here.
Games. I ruined it. I'm not fun.
And I used to, because I used to throw the ball like really softly to space, because, like, you're not like. There's a fine line between playing bubble football and being.
What is bubble football?
A hero, you know, in the bubble.
Oh, you just toss the ball around in the bubble?
We used to play all the time. We used to
So
play
you mean
bubble.
there's a fine line between just having a fun casual
being a
game
jerk
and what happened at our media football game?
Yeah, I was trying to be
last month.
Yeah, I
We're
was trying-
dying.
that kind of stuff.
Alex
like,
was good. We got to work on the wheel
so like the
route,
last
though.
thing I
That's-
wanted to do was like, oh, he's kind of open. I'm going to jam this one in, bang, and break a finger. You know,
Right.
Like that's how Brissett throws. Like I'm going to put it. If I put it right on his shoulder, he has a chance to catch it, but then the other guy has a chance to knock it away. So I'm going to put it over there a little bit. You know, that way it just fall.
Yeah,
if he
you're,
does,
you're picking zones.
only
Paul. I
my
mean,
guy can get it, but more than likely it's going to be incomplete. I
Not
don't like
everybody.
that.
Not everybody played high level high school football like you. did,
Correct.
So,
Power, all
when
right.
you were
22 lead.
It's my favorite. Well, when you said bubble football, I was thinking of the bubble hockey game, which I'm sure all my
Yeah.
hockey
I was
folks
also
out there,
elite at that.
The bubble hockey game. I mean, I remember going into a rink in LA, like random middle of the valley, taking the kids to learn to skate, and they had the bubble, the bubble hockey. You know, it's like it's the best. Yeah, the song, you know, play like the music and stuff.
Nostalgia.
Did you beat Campbell?
Oh yeah. Come on, what are we doing? No, I think it was one of those ones where like the puck gets stuck on the back of the net and you gotta like wrangle the whole thing, and it's a big pain in the butt. Got to get one more question in here about the defense from my guy David in Bethlehem. Pats need White and Jennings to dial up rushes, and then it goes on. Rodgers just can't run. Go get him. And Evans right. Stevenson should run right at them. Last point. How about two backs with Stevenson getting the fake and Hasty going the water bug end around? I just would say Jennings, like to get a little more out of him. I mean, White, you can't ask for more than he's given you. I was slow to see him in the summer. I'm not slow to see him now. He's obviously playing awesome, and it's a huge boost for the defense. And they just need more, though. They need Dietrich Wise to. Remember early the last couple of seasons, Dietrich Wise is like comes out on fire, has a 2-sack game.
Dietrich had like a 3-sack
Yeah,
game early.
you know,
I don't know if it was last year or the year
like
before.
if they're gonna win, they need that game to happen. And I'm kind of losing faith that anyone else is gonna really emerge.
That's kind of why I said at the beginning of the show, like, I wouldn't have wished the Patriots pass rush on my worst enemy, like, even as recently as last year. And I don't know.
Talk about a hard way to live. I mean, that's the game. That's the game. Getting after the quarterback, getting guys uncomfortable, having athletic pieces up front. I mean, me and Paul, we got into a thing last night on texting about Uche and, how he's got metrics of, he's getting pressure. I'm like, he's getting pressure. They're like the lowest ranked pressure team in the league right now. And he's like, he
also,
hasn't
I
gotten
think
a sack yet.
Judon freed Uche up a lot.
Oh, of course.
That, what was it, 2 years ago where Uche had that really breakeout year and everyone was like, oh, it's no problem if Judon goes down because we have Uche, we have Bentley, and it just...
He's a quick guy. Like, he's quick. He's hard for some of the bigger tackles to really get under him. And so I think he does... But that's his skill. That's his one trick.
And he's done that a little bit, but I just the numbers would indicate that he's been among the best in the league in the first 2 weeks, and I haven't noticed him that much. There have been occasional flashes on the edge. Mike's right; he's very athletic.
Gets a pressure.
He has an ability to get
pushes him into
to get that tackle. You get the edge on that tackle, but I don't think I've seen it a lot.
It's like the team rush, though, and that's why he's a good part of it, because he can win. we talk so much about winning one-on-one matchups being the key, and I mean, again, the Jets are the best pass rushing, pressure team with just rushing 4 guys, which that's where you want to be as a defense. Like 4 guys, all of them can get after the ball, and it's just been too long. I mean, maybe next year if Barmore's able to come back,
like
Barmore White in the middle, that's a really
and you kind of look at it
place.
like with the Jets. So like Jermaine Johnson's a really good pass rusher for them, and he's out. And they have a former first-round pick in Will McDonald, who, again, he's been a little bit of a disappointment so far, but they have the ability to use him. They made a trade to get Hassan Reddick. Now, he's pouting and holding out for a
Costing
contract.
himself a lot of money.
Okay, but just like the depth of talent. Like, I'm not talking about what it's going to end up being, but like you look at the different options that they have, and that Tack McKinley is a guy who has sort of bounced around the league and been a disappointment. He's like the 5th guy. Yeah. Like another former first-round pick that's perfect Belichick kind of signing. Yeah. Like, been a disappointment, but there's talent that allowed him to be a first-round pick. Maybe we can tap into that. And they're not asking him to go out there and get 20 sacks. They're asking him to maybe go out and play 5 plays and see if he can do something. Now, maybe that role will increase with the injuries that they have. But I just look at, Anthony Jennings. Anthony Jennings is a run setter. He's an edge setter. He's a physical linebacker who does his job well.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Rotational
that's in
piece.
his skill set.
No, neither do I. All right, well, I think we did a good job bringing the train home.
Do you? You
landing
want to
the
pat
plane
yourself on the
a little
back?
bit. We did
Do you?
okay. My voice isn't great, but of course, Paul and I will be back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Patriots pregame show with
Now,
Matt
Alex,
and
where
No
will you
Smith.
watch the
Where will
game?
you be?
Either Rhode Island or at home on my couch. Probably on my couch though.
Monitoring.
It's like Ray Lewis. watch the playoffs the same place everybody else on your couch.
Well, it should be a good one, folks. We're excited, and we'll see how the Patriots do tomorrow, and then we'll be back next Tuesday, same time, same channel here, Patriots Unfiltered. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.